Whoa! Let me undeafen real quick. Alright, we're here. Everyone's in here. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, friends. Welcome to
Whoa.
Crash
Oh,
3.
Hello.
This time we got Dan in
Not-
here.
Press start.
Yo, it's me. It's Dan in here.
It's the Misk Dan. Okay, so...
Yep.
Alright. Got a level with you. Not a very good start to today. So, this is what happened. I'm setting everything up for the stream. And then, here, let's go into this. We don't have to keep looking at demo mode. So, I'm setting up for this, and I turn the console on, and everything is like, the screen's like, and it's just a mess of colors, like weird, vertical colors, and I'm like, oh. So, I tried messing with the AV cables, I tried messing with, the port in the back of the PS2, I tried unplugging everything and plugging everything back in, nothing was working. I'm like, did my PS2 just fuck itself? And I'm thinking like, shit, okay, I've got a few other options, but like, what's happening to my PS2? So then I unplugged everything and I'm like, okay, I had been planning to bring the PS3 in here because it brings better quality to the PS1 games and stuff like that, so it doesn't look like dog shit like this. But I'm like, okay, so if it comes to that, I'll have to rush real quick and go grab the PS3 and all the cables and everything and hook up the converter box for the HDMI cables and all that crap. Do it through HDMI, bypass the HDCP lock on the PS3 and try and see if I can get it. Because I've never done that before. So I was like, alright, this is my first 3-minute, do it real fucking quick, makeshift, test and try it out and see if it works for the stream. But then I realized, oh wait, I have a Japanese PS1. I'll just play the Japanese Crash 3 and be like, konnichiwa, so the fucking PS2 isn't working? We're playing the Japanese version just so we can keep, we can play the original Crash 3 in some form. And then I was like, hold on. Let me try this one more time. Oh, no, actually, it wasn't even that. So I plugged in the Japanese PS1 and I was going to set that up. And then I turned it on. And the bars came up. And I was like, okay, it's not the console. It must be the little box I have here that's going from HDMI to, or AV to HDMI. And I'm like, let me unplug that real quick and plug it back in. And then I did, and then it worked. And I was like, oh, okay, I see. It was the converter box. It wasn't the console or the AV cables or literally anything I tried for the last 20 minutes. Okay. Welcome to Crash 3.
Fascinating.
So that's been my
that
day
wraps
so
up
far.
my entire feelings of playing Crash 3.
bruh.
Hi, Nationverse. How's it going? Why is the analog button on? No, turn that off.
Analog.
Oh man, don't you love being a content creator?
Yeah, I do.
Specifically for
I
video
love
games.
I'm mostly working the background for people instead.
I have a mask up in me too. That's what I thought you said as a small child.
Oh,
Yeah, Nationverse, that's what I'm using. See, that's what I'm using because I thought it was gonna bring the quality up, and it did a little, but not really like to what I want it to be. So I'm looking into ways to get an upscaler. It's just that most of them that the bigger YouTubers use, whether they're reviewers or whoever, or Let's Play peoples, they have the expensive shit because this is their job.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have to slave away to get the money. But yeah, I'm working on it. Anyway, so how are y'all's days today?
Good, I think.
pretty busy.
Are you not sure?
Yeah, not a whole lot going on right now. Just keeping myself busy.
There was some big ant invasion here when I woke up.
An ant invasion?
Yes,
Oh man.
there was a bunch of ants walking on the ground when I woke up. Tried to get that rid of, and everything is sorted now.
It's about that time for ants, because we have a bunch of ants in our front yard. They like to, there are these very specific spots on the driveway and the sidewalk that they like to congregate at. They build their little nests and whatever there. And they set up shop there, as it were, and they start fucking by the dozens. They're just like all over the place.
Sucks. I hate ants.
Don't we all?
Apparently the ones Miharu gets that she sees around her place are little black ants, the ones that don't bite, but even red ants. Apparently her red ants don't bite, and I'm like, really? Well, shit. I'd love to have your red ants because our red ants are little bastards. They all bite. So
We have both red and black. The ones that invaded were black, though.
oh well, that's good at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have both over here too, but red is a little more common. So that's not okie dokie.
I mean, like the ants that are both red and black, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're like a little more easily identifiable with all the red that's on them. Like their
Yeah,
main,
that's true.
like, bodies are red, and their heads I think too. Con, hello, welcome into the stream. Yep, just started Crash 3. I'm not going for everything. I'll pick and choose what gems I want to go for, if I even desire to go for gems. I got the one in a Toad Village just right now.
So this is a casual run.
Yeah,
No prob.
because we 100%ed the first two games, but those ones are easily completable within like the 2.5 hour or so time frame. This would just take a hell of a lot longer because of all the gems, or sorry, all the relics. So I'm not really here for that.
Yep.
Especially because they'll have to be gold. I just don't want to do that. I'll attempt to unlock the, to make an effort, anyway, to unlock the, 6th warp room if y'all want it.
I don't mind.
Just for
Yeah,
sake.
the relics are gonna require a lot more work going for you.
Ooh.
Even then, I don't mind going for all of them. I always make sure I aim for gold.
Yeah, I just don't like doing time trials in general. Of course, if I'm going for 105%, I'll need to go for gold. If I'm just getting the relics to unlock the 6th warp room and all those levels, then I don't really care what I get. But it's just the fact of if you don't get it once, gotta do it again, and if you still fuck up somewhere, then you just gotta keep doing it, and it's for the sake of the stream. Because I know I'm not well enough at time trials, just in general, to be able to get gold first try on every level. It's just not worth going for. If I was that confident, then I'd probably go for it, because I know where all the other secrets and everything else are. But it's just going for everything, dying as few times as possible, and doing all the relic stuff. It's a lot.
That is fair. Are you wearing your jersey?
Not right now because it's hot. I don't want to get it all icky
gotcha.
and sweaty.
It's super hot right here right now.
It's actually pretty cool where I'm at.
Mm.
It's gonna get hotter today. Right now it's just like warm. I don't even know how, like, what does my computer say? It's like in the 80s right now. It's gonna get at least 10 degrees hotter within the next like probably 4 or 5 hours.
It feels like summer, even though it's not.
Meanwhile, I'm at that point where the weather is fluctuating all over the place. Sometimes it's warmer, sometimes it's cooler. I mean, it's 62 degrees right now, and it feels so much like a nice spring day.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
I mean, I ain't complaining.
Yeah. Yeah, over here it's either too hot or too cold. During the winter it gets fucking freezing. It drops to like the 20s. And yeah, during the summer it's like, well, not that. It's like 112, 113.
I swear, there's like no in between anymore.
No. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's what kills me the most.
So I missed a couple boxes, so again, I'm not really going for everything, so I'm just gonna blast through the rest of this. Woo. Oh yeah. I keep forgetting. Do you guys want me to share the screen on the Discord so that way you can see? Like...
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Oh,
There's
sure.
a lot of latency
Go
on
ahead.
YouTube.
Okay. Let's do the bird trick.
Okay, there you go.
Oh wait. Over here. And then go over here. Birds. And then leave. And then come back. Birds.
They keep respawning. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's just because they're off screen. It's really funny.
That's pretty cool. I
Small
didn't know
things
you
like
could do
that you never notice.
Yeah. And it's funny too, that's how you can tell just certain little tiny, very insignificant or sometimes very significant like coding differences between the originals and Insane, because Insane doesn't have that trick. So it's little things you just like notice and you're like, oh, that's interesting. It's the dog! No one's gonna understand why I say that. I'll explain
No,
because I'm
please
stupid.
explain.
Yeah. I'll explain because I was a stupid child. I used to think he was a dog for some reason when I was like 4. I don't know why.
I mean, I get it. I mean, when you say it, it makes sense. Like, if you didn't know what the tiger was, his face does look like a dog a little bit.
Well, I think too it was the way his voice sounded, because he sounded. Now this is weird to like describe, but hopefully you guys can kind of understand like where I'm coming from with this. It's difficult to describe. So like the way he sounds, how like bellowy his voice is, it's reminiscent of like a gruff dog bark, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, I get you.
I think I get it. The way he sounds all veiny and growly.
Because yes, at the same time, he's actually not super growly here. His voice is on the lower register because this is Brendan O'Brien. So like, it's kind of there, but it's just more like. See, I don't know how to describe it. Yes, it is gruff. But it's not. Oh shit! It's not quite the like John DiMaggio levels just yet until he took over for the voice. It just, I don't know. It sounded very. It sounds very much like a dog. I don't know how else to describe. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, sorry, Peter Brendan. Hello, Zoro. Dude, that
God
news,
rest his soul.
That
Yeah.
news fucking tore me up, man.
It's crazy.
I
He
mean-
did like 7 voices or something like that, didn't he?
I call him the Mel Blanc of the Crash series because when the series first started, he voiced everyone, except for like, you know, obviously the female characters or whoever. But like, you know what I mean? Like he was essentially everyone to a degree.
But even past the first game, he did many characters in
Yeah.
2 and 3.
Yeah, he was Engine, he was Brio, he was Tiny, he was.
Lab assistant, probably.
No, that was
the lab
Howie-
assistant was stock.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
that was
okay.
Howie Scream. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. I've got to go for a bit, but I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, he wasn't Dingo Dial because that was William Hootkins. He wasn't Entropy because that was somebody else. I'm forgetting his name. If it wasn't William, also, I don't think it was, but I can't remember. Yeah, that sucks. A lot of the original Crash voice actors are all freaking passing away now because William Hootkins died not that long ago, a couple of years back actually. The one that hit me the hardest was Mel Winkler, though. Like, that's on stream. That shit made me cry. Because, I already knew he had passed away from hearing it out on Twitter. Oh, give me that shit. Ooh! But I didn't realize, because, Nick was the one that drew that art for him, with him holding Aku Aku in his hand. And I had already
Oh
seen it.
man, that hit me pretty hard.
Yeah, I had seen it
Yeah.
on Twitter already. I didn't realize they were gonna fucking put it in the game. So after the credits, which mind you, or not after the credits, after the last cutscene, which mind you ends on Aku Aku looking off into the sunset, and then it fucking just cuts and it fades that in. I couldn't handle it, and I just started crying on stream. Oh my god, it was so brutal. It's really heartbreaking.
That was really admirable of him to put him in.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you know, acknowledging it like that, that was it was respectful, and it was just interesting to see, because Crash had, I mean, even Crash 1, the OG Crash 1 had like I think someone on the team, I think, passed during the creation, so that they'd go, there's a name memory of in the Crash 1 credits. But like, when you're a small kid and you just hear the voices or see the characters, and then you realize, or you find out way later, that, you know, someone who was very integral to the, you know, the characters passes away, I think it hits you a little more. That's not to downplay the deaths of anyone else that you don't know. It's just, as a kid and a fan of the games, the stark thing you see, you know, first and foremost, are the characters. And so, like, when you hear, and you get attached to them, of course, too. So, like, when you get attached to the voice actors or, like, the characters, and then you find out someone who was really a part, who, like, made a character, like, any one particular character of the series, like, someone who, like, embodies that character passes away, even if, whether or not they were voicing them anymore or not, it's just, like, it just hits you.
Yeah, of course.
Oh no, I totally get what you mean. When you form a special connection with something like that, to hear that they're gone now, it just hits so differently now.
Yeah. Like, I can't imagine what it's going to be like when, like, Charles Martinet or, like, Tom Kenny passes away. It's going to be, a lot of people are not going to be able to handle it, really.
Jesus, yeah.
Oh, those are going to be the biggest heartbreakers.
I think Charles and Bellas is going to be the biggest one for me. Like, he did both character design for Crash and Spyro.
Yeah, I think if Tom Kenny goes, that's especially going to hit me hard.
Yeah, and see, now for a voice actor like him, it's going to be really crazy, because he made a lot of childhoods for a lot of people, regardless of what show you grew up with him in it. So a lot of people are going to be SpongeBob, but then you're going to have, like, Powerpuff Girls, or Ice King, or, you know. So, like,
Spyro.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Like, that's gonna be fucking. It's not gonna be fun. But speaking of fun, here's Tiny. Hi everyone. Sorry to depress you all with talk of death, but we've got Raven. QC, what's up? I wonder if they would even continue SpongeBob if Tom Kenny passes away. I probably.
Yes, probably.
Well, the main show
They'll make
probably.
an AI voice. Nice.
Jesus, no.
I'll stop.
The main show would probably end, but they've got Cam Coral and the Patrick Star Show and all the movies and shit, so they're already focusing on the side characters and, like, the secondary characters, so they'll likely just continue with that and make, like, a SpongeBob universe type of thing. And they'll probably have SpongeBob, like, come in every so often, either voiced by somebody else and just give him very minimal lines, or he just will have, like, voiceless cameos, like, who knows.
They will just, SpongeBob is too big to just die off, so I think they're going to replace him.
Probably. But no one else can, like, do the voice, like, to the degree, no one else can be Tom Kenny. You know what I mean? Sure, you can probably...
Yeah.
Exactly.
And SpongeBob's a really hard character to nail down anyway because of his laugh, his inflections, just the sound of the voice in general. It's going to be so much different.
Sure. Like, you'll be surprised by some people how well they're able to replicate some characters. So, like, I don't think it would be too bad or
Not
too hard to
outright
find someone to
impossible.
Yeah.
Save your progress if you wish. From there, you will see that
Hi,
the
Uncle
gate
Uncle.
to the second time traveled area.
Like, there's some guy, I forgot his TikTok. There's some guy that does, like, Rick and Morty's voice 100% correctly. I was like, what the fuck? How did you even?
What is chat saying? Oh, and Super Tuck, hello. I don't want to leave you out. Hi. Gee whiz. It's Cortec. Oh wait, it's Uko.
You continue to be a thorn in our side. What? Where was I? Oh, Tiny was a good fellow. He hated everyone and everything, but a good heart nonetheless. Please be more reasonable with my
Please be more reasonable with my minions next time.
Please don't fuck them up and put them in the hospital next time.
Please don't kill them next time.
Stop murdering. It's not cool of you.
Just murder the chickens, that's all.
The livestock. Thanks, Crash 3, for giving me an ability that, making me unlock an ability I already had in the previous game. Allowing me to do the thing I was able to do freely in the last one.
Wait, which ability?
Super Body Slam. Letting me be able now to, destroy steel crates when you could just do that in Crash 2.
Okay, yeah.
I find it really weird that they locked it behind an ability this time.
I think what the Super Body Slam does is add to what's already there, if that makes sense.
Yes.
It's supposed to make the Body Slam even more effective.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's why they put the steel crates in this, in these levels, as opposed to like, oh, you can't get the gem in level 4 yet because there are these steel crates you can't, like, yeah, that makes sense.
It's just superficial, oh wow, this feels so super powerful, and move.
Well, I guess too because like in Crash 2, no, you could. Okay, no, see, okay, never mind. I was gonna say you could only like do a steel crate at a time or something, but that doesn't even make sense. No, you could always. I don't know. It's weird.
No,
I think
it's just
weird.
they wanted to make a more powerful version to make the player feel more empowered. I think that's just.
Bye, idiot.
It's a suicide frog.
Yeah, I love him. I'm glad they kept that in Insane.
I need to put him in Rumble.
Exploding Death Frog in Rumble, yes, please.
Yes.
Have him, strap him, like, duct tape him to a nitro crate and throw him at your foes.
Yes, please.
Best power-up.
Exploding Frog, ready.
That'd be amazing. God. Oh, that's not even a part of the song. I was singing the wrong part. There it is. Yeah, Mel passed away in 2020. Yep.
Mm.
It was when Crash 4 was essentially wrapping up development, so they were able to sneak in the in memory of at the last second. I wonder if Rumble will do that then for Brendan.
Probably.
It wouldn't surprise me. They're not obligated to do so, but it would be cool. I don't know how they would do that though, because it's not like the game will have any credits.
Well, no. Well, it's got to have credits, but instead of depending on since there's not going to be a story mode at right out at launch, they'll probably just have the credits in the menu, and then you'll have to like watch them in like the menu because a lot of games just do that nowadays. So, or sometimes you have to like unlock the credits in certain games. So I don't think they'll do that, but like they'll probably be like, here's the menu for like whatever options. Oh, watch the credits, and then like probably at the start or at the end it'll be like, oh, by the way, in memory of Brendan and Brian.
I was thinking they might be able to like have a customizable sound clip for Crash to replace it with
that would be
Brendan
cool.
and Brian.
That would be so cool. Oh, they need to do that. Even if they don't have that, like, even if they can't have that ready at launch, I'd do that later. as a tribute. Oh, that'd be so fucking dope.
Just came to my mind.
Like the characters that he voiced originally, like even Cortex, like have like
Yes.
some type of like have like his laugh, like his ha 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 or something. Like have something
Yeah.
that you could unlock. Oh, that'd be so sweet. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I see what you're getting at now. That would be nice.
Yeah.
I was thinking just for Crash, but I think it could work for Cortex 2 in hindsight.
I mean, just remind people, like, hey, by the way, Clancy Brown wasn't the first voice actor for Cortex.
Yeah.
I still miss, I still, because, see, Brio didn't really have, Brio's got, like, fucking 3 or 4 freaking voice actors, like, to his credit, like, nowadays, but, like, back before Insane, or even, yeah, well, back before Insane, there were just, like, the 2, I think? It was Brendan and Maurice LaMarche, like, in Mind Over Mutant, but because of that, I guess, you know, Maurice just doing his own thing and making him very, like, almost brain-like, it surprised me that he didn't try to, like, keep that, like, kind of accent that he had, that Brendan gave him in, you know, Crash 1 and 2. And no one ever tried to do Brendan's, like Tom Kenny and Roger Craig Smith followed in Maurice's take. They didn't try to, like, revert back or do a little throwback voice to how Brendan did his original voice, which I think is interesting, because I actually prefer Brendan's voice. And not saying that the others are bad or my least favorite, not anything like that at all. I just think that it's interesting that I suppose Maurice's take, I mean, does lend to the very, like, sci-fi nature of Brio as a character anyway, but, like, so to some, maybe the accent sounds out of place for him, but I thought it was unique. I thought it was cool because no one else has an accent like him. Same thing for Engine. Most voice actors try to do, you know, the Igor or the whoever, but, like, then some, like, Nolan North just went, nah, I'm just gonna kind of do my own thing. Like, he kind of has that accent, but he's just insane.
Oh, Nolan did his own special treatment on Engine.
Yeah. He's a completely different character, but in a good way, I think. I think I like him. He's just the most insane character in the franchise.
What's more useless, the Super Body Slam
Arguably the best part of Radical's games, period.
Is Engine?
Yes.
That makes sense. Zora asks, what's more useless, the Super Body Slam or the Sneak Shoes? The Sneak Shoes, because they're not fun. As much as the Super Body Slam might be a little odd, it's still fun to use. But Sneak Shoes are completely and utterly... Plus, you use the Super Body Slam a lot more than you do the Sneak Shoes. You only use them literally twice. But don't worry, we'll get to that next week, so... I'm actually really excited to play Wrath of Cortex on stream because I haven't streamed it before. I've beaten it time and time again. I actually have never 106%ed it, but I've beaten the game itself just up to crunch, you know, time and time again. But I've never played it on stream before, so this is actually going to be my first time streaming it. And we're playing the PS2 version, in case anyone's wondering. But yeah, I'm excited.
Joy.
Because, hey, I actually like Wrath of Cortex. It was my first PS2 game. I've got a lot of good, like, Christmas memories attached to it.
Oh, no, not the game itself. The version you're playing.
The version I'm playing? Well, I don't own the Xbox version. I have the GameCube version, but that's the worst one, so... If y'all want me to play the GameCube version, we'll do that.
I always heard the PS2 was the worst one because of load times.
The load times are about the worst aspect of the PS2 version, but overall, it's, like, performance-wise and everything else, it's one of the best ones.
Yes, because the GameCube version has a very unstable frame rate, and the visuals looks even worse.
Yeah, the textures and everything they had to, like, lower and take out, like, the fancy shaders and reflectors because they would tank the frame rate even further, and the frame rate already, with all that done, isn't even that good in the final product anyway, so...
You know, and a level like that's completely dark, but that's lit up by a dragonfly is just completely lit in the GameCube version. So yeah,
The Xbox version, I suppose. I mean,
perfect.
it's considered the best because it has the short load times of the GameCube, but then it also has the fidelity of the PS2 version. If anything, it actually goes a step beyond because Crash and Coco, I don't know if Crunch does, they've got fur effects to them. That was the first time that Crash and Coco looked a little bit fuzzy.
Yes.
So that was, if anything, the visuals were, they had enough room to actually improve the visuals a little bit.
I probably should try the Xbox version at some point.
Now,
It's the most consistent.
for me, I hate the Duke controller. I'm gonna have to see if my little rhinestone, girly-looking fucking one that we bought at like a random, at my little retro store, see if that one works. But I'm not using the big fat-ass Duke on. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not playing Crash with a big-ass Duke controller. I'm sorry.
Understandable.
Oh no, I hear that.
Wrap of Cortex. I don't think it's a particularly good game, but it's fine. I can have fun with it sometimes.
It had some good ideas. For
Yes.
what it was worth, everything said and done, I actually really enjoy it still. There are some bits that are going to be... There are some levels, but like in any other Crash game, that are going to be kind of annoying. Like Crash 2, we had like 1 or 2 annoying levels. In this game, there's going to be some annoying levels. In Crash 1, I still don't like fumbling in the dark. Everything else is fine to me, but that level can go fucking... fuck itself.
Yeah.
So... Wrath of Cortex has some of that too, of course. Like, that sinking feeling was one of the worst levels ever designed by man. But besides that, everything else is okay enough.
It's okay. And like even the good levels are like, there's like no flow to it. There's too much open spaces to make it completely. Like there's no challenge essentially.
Well, at that point, the clever platforming was very much dumbed down. But arguably, and this is going to sound a little controversial, it started with Crash 2. The very intricate platforming of like these moving platforms and like all the vertical segments, a lot of them started to vanish almost entirely after Crash 1. Like, there are still some moving platforms, most infamously in like the Ruins levels, like Ruination, Red Ruin, and stuff like that, but very few and far between. So, I want that life. And vertical segments actually altogether were nixed in Crash 2, but here they return, but not as they're not as lengthy as they were in Crash 1. Looking at you, Sunset Vista, like that level is so long.
Yeah.
Because it has like two or three, I think, vertical sections. I can't remember, but the vertical segments in this game. Okay, bye. Noob mistake. I fucking got.
Ooh.
Noob mistake. I don't know why that happened. My controller slipped. My PS2 is broken. Anyway.
And you're not even playing. You're playing blindfolded.
Yeah, I'm playing blindfolded. You guys can't tell because I don't have face cam. I got squished.
And it's
Cool.
using tilted controls.
Crash, I'll pay you $5 to fucking survive through this part. Why am I trying to get the gem? I can't anyway. Crash, please. I will actually kill myself in real life. Stop.
Goddamn.
And these are the only levels with ice physics, I realize.
That's true. Yep.
Yep.
They said, we made these really cool ice physics in the second game. We have to find an excuse to put them in 3. Tar.
Oil.
Ink. Oil. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Ink. Yeah, oil.
I thought it is. I think it is oil, but I'm not sure.
I really can't tell what it is. I don't remember the Egyptians slipping and sliding everywhere. while making the
Is that in the
pyramids.
history books?
Can you imagine if we learned that in history?
They're just building the pyramids and they're just slipping everywhere. They're slipping and they're getting the giantess blocks falling on their neck and back.
Terry! What's up, man? It's been long time no see, bro.
What's up, dude?
Oh, I know that name.
Yeah, Terry's been around for a while now. He is going to try and join in on the Rumble streams.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, so speaking of Rumble, I guess I'll have to address that real quick because they just went up today. It just went up today. I had a short go up from the last stream in Crash 2, and then I had an announcement stream go up. Ooh, shit, go up just an hour ago. So the dates are still gonna be the same. Obviously, you know, day 0, day 1. That kind of goes without saying. But in the video that went up today, I specified what we're doing. So we're gonna do kind of like how with the beta stream, we did like, you know, the 4v4 against like all our friends, everyone that's gonna be like in this server that we're in right now and everything like that. So I'll try and see who else can come in, because I still haven't played against CG yet, like outside of the Activision event, and I want to play against, you know, other people that we've invited in here but didn't get to play with. So there's that. So it's going to be a lot like what you guys saw in the beta stream. It's just going to be a bunch of us in the server, and we're going to like split off and go into our teams and everything, and we're going to fight each other. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be day 0. Day 1, I'm only going to partner up with, I mean, a couple, as many of you guys who want to come in can come in, but for my stream, I'm going to be partnering with 3 others specifically, and then y'all can cycle out if you want to, but like, it's just going to be, with me included, the 4 of us together, just going off and doing competitive against random people. So, we can cycle out. It'll be like a lot of a smaller group that day. And then we'll just kind of play it by ear and see, if later we want to open it up again to more 4v4 with, you know, everyone else, or whatever the case is going to be. So we'll play that part by ear. But primarily that stream for day 1 is going to be, 4 of us versus just randos on competitive.
Makes sense.
Sure, dude.
It's sure to be a lot of fun. Let's choose this fight. Yay.
It's only a month left. That's crazy.
What? Oh shit, that was way too early. My bad. Someone had asked me something real quick. Let me find it again. Hold on. How did I break the barrel? Oh, because I was charging through it. If you don't move Pura, and you just kind of like straight shot it without touching the directions, and you just charge with either of any of the shoulder buttons, you'll just charge right through the barrels. It's a time saver for like time trials and all that. Oh yeah, Super Tuck asked if I had ever done a live stream on Twinsanity. Yeah, we did a whole stream series on it. So in 2 weeks, our stream then is going to be Twinsanity. Yeah, I did a stream series of like 2 or so streams where we played the game. Oh, please crash. Oh! Oh, Vic's not in here, actually, Terry. We've got Dan and Frederick in here, and Dave is in here, but he will be coming back in later.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please crash.
You thrashed me, mate.
Doing alright,
I
Raven.
think I like the good the Dingo Delver having 4, but I think I prefer the evil one prior to the 4.
Evil Dingo.
Yeah. I like his flamethrower, badass.
Like his fucking creepy fight in Twinsanity. Everyone's like, he is so creepy in Twinsanity because the music is very scary.
I haven't played that game, so I can't tell. Well, I've seen the cutscenes and stuff, but
Where? Haven't we
I
got
tried
I think
the
him in Crash 3 is the
putty
best.
marsupials? I am Dr. Nefarious Troopy, master
But
of
that's
time
just
and
my
creator
opinion.
of the very time twister machine you see before you. Uka Uka and Dr. Cortex have sent me to end this little
oh,
show.
I love all these
So you won't
characters.
be leaving my area with the crystals.
Terry, yeah, we need to invite you into the server later. The Clap Team
Who?
Rumble server.
Should I drop the link?
If you have them friended on Discord.
I mean, like in like this YouTube chat.
No, don't put it in the YouTube chat.
Okay, scratch that.
Give it him directly. Yeah.
No, I don't have him added, so scratch that entirely.
Okay, well then I'll have to give it to him later.
Yeah.
Because I believe we're friends on Discord.
Maybe he can tell you.
Oh, you bitch! Ow, 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 no. Okay. What are these fucking creepos doing? Who are they? Why do they look like me but they're fish?
What?
The little bandicoot fish. The bandifishies. How come they never came back after this?
Oh, there's an enemy I would want to see again.
How come the bandifish isn't playable in Nitro Field?
Oh, technically they're there. They're attached to a vehicle though.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I legit forgot about that.
Yeah, they're attached to the Nautilus.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, I'm lost. Wait, where do they appear again?
They're on a cart. One of the carts that's in the game. It has a bunch of like nautical stuff, like undersea stuff, like attached to it as part of the design of the cart, and the bandifish is one of them. I forgot about that.
In Nitro Field?
Yeah.
Huh.
Put in here. Let me see, Terry.
That's a
Hold
deep cut.
on. Where are you? Hold on, I'm trying to find you. Terry. Where's all my friends? Are they there? Oh, they're in order. In alphabetical order. Yeah, I don't see you on here. This is not ideal. Back in time? No, not yet. I do want to play it. I don't have it. Oh no, yeah, that's right, Nationverse. But I was talking about like the main, that main playthrough series of the American version. That took like 2 streams. Yeah, then we did a stream later. It was a one-off because I got the Japanese version of Twin Sanity. So we played a little bit of that. All right, man. Yeah, Terry. So I'm not wasting too much time in the stream. I'll just we'll sort it out after the stream, and then for Wrath of Cortex, if you want to jump in, you can. So yeah, I'll get that to you after the stream's over. Yeah, see, this right here is the bonus round. It's like, oh, do the thing you just learned. Do it a lot, actually.
I feel like this has to be where like intrusive tutorials kind of began, because why would you need a sign for that?
That is pretty funny, yeah. The thing is that they're in the background and they're visual, so I can forgive tutorials as a whole if they're visual and don't get too intrusive. The very fact that they have to be there to remind you to do a thing is weird, and I'd prefer they not do that. But it's a double-edged sword. Even simplistic tutorials can be a double-edged sword, because depending on how your game is designed and how it feels, and how simple the controls are in the first place, there are always a time and place for tutorials, and usually when it comes to Crash, Spyro, or anything else, you don't really need them because they're that simple.
Yes.
That was my whole point with my with my problem, quote unquote, with modern Crash video. But everyone just saw me shitting on Crash, and they were like, which was not what I was doing, but they perceived it as that, and they were like, there's nothing wrong with the game, you're just reaching, and it's like, okay, shut up.
I wonder if they put the signs there in this game, because this game released when this franchise was on its top, like, popularity, and they wanted to bring in the casuals a little bit more.
Well,
a
because
little bit more accessible.
well, I think it might be too that there's that, but I think too the only thing you could really string that was intentional anyway to string together in Crash 2 was just the slide jump, but because these are like powers in this game, and you can like slide into a double jump and then do your death tornado, like they want to remind you that you can combo those moves together. So now it feels a lot more, you know, like fluid. And for people, I think too, because those combos aren't really used too often, I think they just feel obligated to put them there to remind you that, oh, this is what you do right here. Make sure to execute it right here, or to get the timing down right too, because of the placement of those signs. It's like, okay, do the spin or the slide right here, then do the double jump right here, because they go in that like sequential order, and they're spaced out in such a way where you always see what sign's coming up next as you're doing the previous move or whatever, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's a little bit funny in retrospect, because Crash 4 is so much more harder than this game, or challenging, whatever you say, but you know what I mean.
I mean, well, that is true, and also too, the point of that video as well was for me to be like, when you know, regarding Crash 4, I was like, okay, so if they had to tell you anything, which the game does, you know, give you those little pop-ups that say, hey, press this button to do this, you think they would tell you about the more advanced shit you could do. Like, there is absolutely no hint on sliding on TNT crates. That's just something you can do now. That's Crash 4 is the first Crash game where you could ever do that. And they don't tell you. But they tell you how to press X to jump, or circle to slide, and or crouch, and it's like, okay, that's been the case since 1997, but alright. I guess if you're gonna tell me to do that.
And they don't teach you about the triple slide spin, which is very useful for time trials.
Well, they tell you have it when you beat the game. I believe they do.
But they
tell
don't teach you how to use it.
No, they just say press it in sequential order. But I think at that point it's up to you to figure out how you want to use it, because there are different ways of kind of utilizing it to your advantage.
No, they show you the triple spin, but not the triple slide spin. That's the difference I'm trying to...
Well, true, but I mean, I think that part of it just kind of like the fact that you can like slide spin into a triple spin, like I think that just comes from experimentation. But it is true too. I mean, I do get what you're saying. You do get a bit more of a boost out of it.
Yeah. I just think it's a very good mechanic if you wanna get the harder relics in that game.
Yeah.
And it's a mechanic. It's not a glitch or anything. Like they programmed that in. So I think might as well teach people. Is my point.
Yeah. I absolutely adore the fact that they turned it into a mechanic at all. So it's a proper slide spin. It's not this like glitched slide spin. They made it like a low spin kick move, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's awesome.
Yeah.
Get out of here, you silly creatures. I was about to say, yeah, after this game we didn't really get any more, like, monkey bar climbing. Oh, no, we did. I somehow repressed for 2 seconds Wrath of Cortex's, monkey bar segments, which are not fun at all.
That takes so long.
They take so long, and then I still want to know if this was intentionally programmed, but it takes so long, and you're so slow on them, to the point where when you're trying to get relics for time trials, you have to sacrifice Aku Aku to an enemy, and then you can jump off the bar, and instead of falling to your death, the invisible like floor activates. Like there's like collision there, and you can just run on air for as long as you have iframes. for as long as
Did
you're.
they intend for you to do that?
I don't know. That's where I'm like, yeah. Did you get away with shitty design or shitty mechanics or like what's going on here? What's the deal? Yeah, I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, but if it is, that's pretty fucking pretty sketchy because no other Crash game did that. Even here, if you try to do that exact thing like run on air here in this game, you're just gonna fall. So it seems like it was very intentionally designed in Wrath of Cortex.
Who knows? I haven't even tried that, so I wouldn't know.
I'm stupid. I was like, I've got this. I no. Let's try it again.
When I was a kid, I thought these were like women that were carrying the vases.
Oh yeah. Crash is abusive to women. Oh no.
Yeah. Crash Bandicoot free misogyny.
That wouldn't fly
No.
today.
It wasn't until the remake came and I saw oh, it's monkeys. Okay. I don't know why I thought they were women because they made monkey noises, didn't they, in the original?
I don't think they make any
I
noises.
think they did.
I just killed one right now and I didn't hear anything from him.
Okay. I don't.
So
Okay.
more likely not.
Good, so I have an excuse now. Cool. I'm not a total idiot, so the little one. I don't know, it's when it comes to like
I double
PS1
jumped,
games.
I swear.
like, when it comes to like PS1 games, you kind of have to make up with your imagination sometimes.
Yes, that's also what Toys for Bob and Vicarious Visions had to do when they were when they were doing Insane and Reignited because they were like, oh shit, like certain enemies and stuff. Okay, I get what that's supposed to be. Like here's a goat, here's a bull, here's a little robot rat thing.
Yeah.
The fuck are the things in Generator Room? The little crawly things or what the fuck? Like so, they had to like completely reimagine them so it can make sense as to what the hell they are.
Yeah.
All Insane had to do was literalize everything that was on display.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell what's there. They just made it way more obvious.
Yeah.
When it comes to
Think that makes
Reignited,
sense.
I would argue that they took more creative liberties with their enemy designs.
I think a little too much sometimes. There was like this what's that thing that carries like the caveman in the original and the Spyro 2? Forgot. Was the
The lava
The thing-
lizards.
The cat bat?
yeah.
Oh,
No, oh wait, I need to look this up. I'm gonna
from
lose my mind.
Skelos Badlands?
Yeah, there's someone that carries the caveman in the cutscenes or something
Yeah.
like that.
Believe it or not, those are called cat bats.
No, but didn't they change it to cat bats in the
No,
remake?
that's what they were called. They were called cat bats.
Serious?
They
Wait,
did.
Yes, that's what they literally are.
Yeah, in Reignited, they literally are cat bats, but they didn't really. They looked more bat than cat in the original. In Reignited, they looked more cat than bat. Yeah.
Funny. But I do like Reignited's creative liberties across the whole trilogy.
Sure, there is a time. There's a moment how like that like Miharu and I both had where we were kind of like looking at the different enemies, the way they were designed, or even just the characters too, throughout each game. And the more they needed help with some stuff, especially by Spyro 3 when Sansaru stepped in and like other like freelance artists
Right.
and stuff stepped in, like Lemur Feature and all them.
Oh, I remember that name.
You could tell, and I was following them before I even found out they even worked on Reunited, so I already was familiar with their style, especially too because they did a lot of fan renders and stuff of like Bianca and them with their own design for her, but when you see the style that they do, you can tell who they worked on in terms of NPCs and enemies in Reignited. A lot of
And
their
you can
work
tell
is,
you can tell when they put in their own personal flair.
a lot of their work is definitely featured in it's very prominent, I should say, in 3, which is fine, but as a whole, when you look all across Reignited, the designs are just a touch inconsistent, and it's because solely of the fact that many different people did the designs of all these characters. So it wasn't like the same 3 or 7 or how many ever that did like all the dragons in Spyro 1, you know, all the NPCs in 2, all the NPCs in 3. Like per game almost, it was like different people. Both from Toys for Bob again and freelance. So there's that. Plus, comparing a lot of dudes like the Seals or whoever, or like especially the fucking Tiki guys to their original counterparts. Some of them are a little like. I don't mean to, you know, invoke, you know, how we're always talking about the people that are like, designs are fucking whatever, weird. But like, for once, I kind of got that feeling where I was like, oh, this, like, the Tiki guys don't look anything like the way they used to. That's odd. They don't even sound the way they used to. They've got Australian accents now for some reason.
I didn't mind the voices all too much because I could tell across the whole trilogy they were trying to give every NPC their own unique identity of sorts. Trying to make them sound different from each other at least.
That is true.
Well,
but when you do that, see, even that I feel can be, I keep throwing the term around a lot, but a double-edged sword, because the more you do that, the less, like, personality they kind of have, ironically, because, like, okay, so, like, for example, in Insane, let's just use Insane again.
You say that, yeah, in the original Spyro games, all the NPCs sound exactly the same.
No, I know. But you can't deny that you remember that voice first before you remember, you know, a normal sounding dude who has an Australian accent. You remember, welcome to the Tiki Lodge, more than Australian accent, because that's a little more common. It's not as unique, I guess. It's unique to these guys because they're the only ones in Reignited that have those accents, besides, you know, Sheila. But I mean, for the NPCs anyway, like, it's unique to them, but that's also not who they were, I guess. And it's not to say that it's bad or flawed or whatever else, but like, it was just a very weird, very prominent difference that, among many others, that we were like, this is kind of odd. We have to get used to it. It's something you have to get used to.
Didn't take me enough time to get used to it. I mean, I was more than welcome with what they were offering.
Yeah, and see, I think it's a very odd study of, like, myself and of Miharu, the both of us, like, studying ourselves, for why we, like, again, it's all in constructive criticism, kind of, like, fashion, but why we hold Spyro to such scrutiny when, like, we've let a lot of stuff in Insane and, like, Nitrofield slide, and I don't know why. It is very odd. Like, I don't want, every time we bring up Reignited nowadays, we're like, oh, this is the part where she says, listen to me, Dragon, Spyro weird and not right, or like, oh, it's this guy who doesn't look the way he's supposed to. It's very odd, and I want to just kind of, like, put a little public thing out that, like, both of us still love Reignited. We're not shitting on the game, or the trilogy. We're not, you know...
I could probably say the same thing for Insane and how safe they played it compared to everything that came after it. I don't hate the game, but when you look at everything else that came after it, man, does it look so vanilla and plain.
Well, here's the thing, too. I mean, but you can't really help it because you gotta walk before you run, you know what I mean? So, like, I feel with all the remastered projects we've gotten, all 7 of these games, like, 7.5 if you include all the, like, Nitro Card elements and shit, but, like, Vivi really wanted to make sure that they stood as faithful as they could while still having the creative freedom to, like, do their own spin on characters or levels or enemies or whatever, but still stay faithful to the source material. And when you've got, you know, all these Crash fans that are, like, super fucking, like, they will put anything under a magnifying glass, they felt the pressure.
And there's the thing, and here's the thing. I get wanting to be faithful to the source material, but in the case of Insane, there's such a thing as playing it too safe. And once I hear all the criticisms lean toward Insane, it's like, I get it. I get where they're coming from.
Like the cooler things they did that Vivi did for Insane, which I thought they didn't even have to do, but they did it anyway and it was awesome, was the 2 extra levels. Like bringing back Stormy Ascent was pretty badass. I was like, okay, cool. Going out of their way to make a whole ass new fucking level with Future Tense, I was like, well, shit, that's incredible. And no one asked them to do that. No one said we want more content than just these games. They played it very safe, and that's because most ground-up remasters or remakes or whatever of games before Insane came out, they do, for the most part, just stick to what was made before, and they're making it again. So Vivi did that, which is why Insane feels so... I mean, to the point where, like, they played it so straight, they didn't really give you much to play with, like, you don't have the classic soundtrack, and Spyro has that, and Nitrofield has that, and little things like that. I mean, yeah, it does feel very basic because what they did was quite literally stick to the characters, the dialogue, the levels, the structure, and they didn't really stray from it. Shit. But I still think that was the safest bet because I think that's what Crash needed at the time in order to like sell the fact of, hey, this is what you guys liked and loved, right? So hey, we want to bring Crash back because it's his 20th anniversary. Why not celebrate exactly that? The games you remember, but they look, you know, better or whatever. So in that sense, they fucking nailed it. I think they knocked it out of the park. Now, when it comes to people comparing Crash 4 to Insane, which, by the way, I'm just going to say right now, my next video is about how the designs and the gameplay and this and that, and the visuals of Crash 4 look so wacky and awesome. That, like, almost realistic cartoony style, that Pixar style of Insane looks like shit now, and it's... can't agree with any of that stuff. I don't know where all that's coming from. I feel
they both look good.
I feel it's just further excuse to shit on Insane because that's like where everyone's getting their kicks right now, is just kicking the crap out of Insane. And it doesn't really need it or deserve it.
I think Insane looks cool. It's just it has some rough spots that looks very rough. Like the lighting makes the character models look shitty in places, and some of the water.
I heard someone
bad
say
and
this
such.
once. But the only place these assets look good are in the stage cutscenes. Anywhere outside of that is where the true colors show, so to speak.
That's also too
I mean,
because they're pre-rendered, so.
I mean, I've always said, even before this, that Crash 2 probably looks the worst of the remakes. It's like the lighting is just all over the place in that game. I mean, you look at Crash 1 and 3, some areas look fine, but then you look at Crash 2, what the hell went wrong?
Especially like when
It was mainly where they placed.
The warp room especially! Like, how do you mess up the lighting of the warp room, for crying out loud?
It was a mashup of where they were placing their light sources and as far as how the fucking hologram cutscenes, as far as that's concerned, I don't know what the fuck happened there. They probably just didn't have the time for lighting. They probably were really just trying to make sure they had levels and fucking other shit like in.
Find time for Dave Ace to come back. We were just discussing Insane and all the graphical inconsistencies that came with it.
So Fest is here too.
For what it's worth too, actually, it simultaneously has some of the, in terms of just pure lighting criticism, it does have some of the worst, but some of the best, because I think the jetpack levels, anything in space, the jetpack stuff, Cortex's fight, and especially engines look amazing. The lighting is actually...
a tad too bright, but I see it.
I don't really mind that. I think it makes everything pop. It's not so bright to where it's like, to where any one color is bleeding out. Like, there's not too much white, too much yellow, too much, like, blue. I think the lighting is really done justice in some of those areas. But yeah, in some warp rooms, or rather the beginnings of some levels and stuff,
for everything else.
It was light source problems, and they probably just didn't have time to fix it. Like, who knows why that's the way it is.
The only time I ever really had a problem with like the light source in Insane was how Crash looked in the levels like lights out or
yeah.
because his eyes would look really weird in those.
They
Actually, yeah, I see that.
yeah, Crash 3, yeah, funny enough, didn't really have that problem. And it's also because Vivi was very open in saying that the way they went about developing Insane, they even tried to stick true to how Naughty Dog did it, in the sense that they started the project of Insane with Crash 1, got about, I want to say, like, I'm just going to throw a rough estimate out there, like maybe 80% done with Crash 1, then started moving on to Crash 2, and starting work on the cutscenes and everything in Crash 2. And then once all that was done, they started Crash 3. So they literally developed them for Insane in order. And it was,
you know what? You know, you say that, and then I'm thinking back to the trailer where they showed off Cortex. I can definitely see where you're getting at, because I saw bits of Crash 2 in there, along with Crash 1 elements. So it seemed like they were ready to show off stuff from 2 back then.
To summarize my opinions, I think Insane looks good. It just has some rough patches that I think probably is there because they didn't have enough time to iron that out. Because Nitro Fuel looks a lot better, I think.
And I know it can be done because, yes, Nitro Fuel proved that.
But again, Beanox probably really took a look at how... Because I don't think Beanox had anything to do with Insane. Twister Bob did, for sure. But they all kind of learned off of each other. Because after... Because Twister Bob did support work for Insane. Then they headed Reignited. Beanox was doing support on Reignited. Headed development for Nitro Field. And I don't know if Twister Bob had much besides like Spyro's model and Hunters and Nasties to give. Or other than that, I don't know how much else... how much more involvement Twister Bob had, but Vivi definitely with all of their assets and everything else. So everyone was talking to each other through all of that, and it was all just one gigantic... The last couple of years have been one gigantic learning process. And the games, the remasters and everything are all still very successful, so you can't really, deny that something went right there overall. Some of the results were mixed and stuff too, yeah?
I was just gonna say, I think it's like when we're talking about like how these games were developed, Insane wasn't that like just a side project as well at the time? Like they didn't really
Insane. So I don't know if they had this entire plan after Insane. I can't remember if that was the case, but from what I've heard from some people I've talked to, and especially just seeing the time frame as well, because you gotta remember too that they had this project, and they were like, okay, so developers called Activision. They were like, all right, developers, send in like your pitch for what a Crash Bandicoot 20th anniversary game would look like. We're kind of like, I don't even know if a remaster was the first thing like on that list, but like. Because you get, I don't know how many other people even actually sent any, or like did anything or sent anything in besides Big Red Button's Crash and Burn project, but that was to land the contract. That was specifically because there was this call for like developers to make a pitch. That was theirs. We found out what Vivi's was. That was what that one video was about with all the Skylanders assets. So, because it kind of looks like Insanity Beach, but then it deviates like the level design. In that prototype footage, or just like pitch footage, it like deviated entirely at a certain point and didn't resemble like Insanity Beach at all. It was just all a pitch. So that was Vivi, and that landed them the contract to work on what became Insane. So that's essentially how that started. So with that in mind, again, it comes to Vivi being like, okay, well, we're gonna, remake all 3 games. And because they were already, having some, the Game Boy games and Nitro Kart and everything, in their, like, repertoire of, like, hey, this is stuff we did before, like, that helped. Because they already kind of had a grasp on what Classic Crash was. But having to literally, like, study Naughty Dog's, style and everything that they did, and make sure that the fans didn't get all pissy, which they still did.
Yeah.
They just felt
My knowledge to
they
that
felt the pressure.
no, go on.
That's all I was gonna say. They definitely felt the pressure.
Well, I mean, it's not Crash related, but take the recent Five Nights at Freddy's trailer, for example. A lot of people are pissed off about the red eyes, but they've always had red eyes. So, like, it doesn't matter how game accurate you can be to something, people will still find a way to pick at it.
I mean, look at the Mario movie. The one big complaint about that right now is the length. Certain characters' design, certain characters, like, roles that they don't really care. How is it that we're living in a fucking timeline where the damsel in distress trope was being so overplayed in the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s, so now we're trying to do the strong, independent women fucking, like, I don't want to call it a trope, but that's kind of what we're doing right now. We look at Tana, and look at other characters and stuff too. And, like, now people are saying, all right, well,
now
it's
an
too
issue.
independent. Yeah, and it's like, what?
yeah, now it's an issue.
Make up your fucking
It's
mind.
only when they realize or take notice, like once they've like noticed something like that's happening, they don't like it. They think, oh, everyone's doing it. It's too generic now.
Yeah, I know.
I was going to say, before we got into Mario, like, I thought the pitch for Crash and Sane even happening was because of, like, Sean Layden walked up to Activision and was like, hey, we want Crash back. And I was like, alright. And that's why that Insane was exclusive for a while there.
Yeah,
I do wonder. I do have to wonder though, because like, I don't know if it's just me, but I noticed PlayStation are like starting to have an interest in Crash after PlayStation All Stars came out, and how many people were demanding for Crash and Spyro to be in the game, and that, like, in turn, like, got people talking about those characters again, and, the whole bring back Crash Bandicoot stuff, like...
Yeah.
I wonder if PlayStation All-Stars was Sony's point in going, oh, people actually really want Crash back. And that obviously led up to what we now have.
I think they wanted Crash back because, like, Mark Cerny, when they made Knack, they wanted just to make Crash, but it didn't have Crash, so they made Knack instead. So
yeah, I remember.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I remember mishearing or misinterpreting that Knack started as a Crash game when it didn't. That they what was it? They wanted to, it was that they wanted to make a Crash-esque game, but I thought they were gonna try and actually like make a Crash game for PS4, and I didn't know what that was going to entail or anything. But then they were like, "Oh no, that's not what it is at all." I was like, "Oh," but it's very interesting. Too, Sean Layden definitely was one that was because of his relations with a lot of OG like Sony Computer Entertainment people, with like Shuhei and everyone else. They definitely wanted to make it happen. I think Sean was a huge part in that. And also, in terms of the community, there were only very few of us, and I say us even, I wasn't even super early to it either. Like, Jeremiah Isaiah was one of the first ones. Jerry was one of the first ones. Crystal Fissure was definitely there. I think Teal for a little bit, and then me eventually. Because I came in during, like, the teases and stuff, so once the teases started to drop, and mainly, too, I actually came in to doing the content that I do now. When it came to the Nintendo, the Wii U NX, not NX. I'm getting all my terms confused. The Wii U Virtual Console.
Wii U, yeah.
That's where I came in and was like, "Ooh, is this gonna mean like a return for Crash?" So like everyone wanting it. There was also Crash for Smash as well. That was a big thing too, since All Stars had happened and all that. And
so they clearly overestimated the demand for Crash at the time.
Yeah, I guess so. Did anyone else just see what just happened? That was fucking weird, right?
I was looking at another tab. No, sorry.
I came into contact with this bomb but instead of doing the animation where like I blow up or fly off my jet ski, it just hard cut to black, and then I just lost a life, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh,
I have never seen that happen.
That was fucking weird.
It's really shocking that they underestimated the amount of like hype behind Crash. I feel.
yeah.
I guess so. And it might have been just...
It's very like because like you know, you could say that it's a niche thing, but you look at all the stuff that the Insane Trilogy and Nitro Fueled, and I mean, even though On the Run slowly died off, even then it was breaking records.
No, true.
So like, people really want Crash. So like, I'm just like, it's just now they're like, oh yeah, that's right, people love Crash. It's like,
I think
really
too.
just now realize that.
it's because
I think Activision underestimated, but not Sony.
well,
Oh yeah, no, it
sure.
was definitely Activision.
But two, well, I think because Activision is, and I'm not saying this. I don't know why I feel like I have to save my ass on this because I was invited to their fucking headquarters. but no, I'll speak to
Never coming back again.
You'll never be invited again.
Giving your Bandicoot shirt.
No, but I'm gonna speak the truth. Like, what interests Activision, as it would interest any fucking company, is that they latch onto what makes them money. So Crash, being a huge moneymaker for a lot of developers and publishers, especially Universal's the one to thank for everything past this fucking game and CTR. So what interests Activision is what makes the money. And Crash was something people wanted to see come back more in a pure form, in a more original format. Because even though a lot of us in these smaller Crash communities like games like Wrath and Twinsanity and Titans of Never Mutant, the majority hated those games. They thought they'd strayed too far from what Crash was. So they wanted something more in line with the hallway linear platforming. Why do you think the first project coming back, and most of the projects going forward, stick to hallway linear platforming? That's what people wanted.
Oh yeah.
So like, it's just really interesting to see how it all went down, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to the stream, everyone.
Well, hope you enjoy the conversation about whatever we're talking about.
But like, I mean, I will say, I'm excited to see what crossover potentials Team Rumble brings.
Yes.
I don't expect much. Just maybe Spyro and that's it.
All I want is an actually good Spyro crossover. None of this fusion business. Whatever that was.
It's crossed over with Crash so much now, like, it's insane.
I mean, CTR was.
No,
fine.
there's Skylanders, there's fucking... The
Right.
Skylanders did that twice, and then we had Insane Trilogy, the cheat code you had to put in. There's Nitro Fuel, there's Crash on the Run, Crash 4, like fucking 5 times now through this revival.
I mean, at least
Not that there's
Toy
anything-
for Bob is showing that they have interest of putting in other things than Spyro.
That's
what they
very
And
did.
I don't
So-
find that inherently a bad thing. I just think that Spyro and Crash go hand in hand. To me personally,
Well-
you can't have one without the other.
Yeah,
I think it's overplayed.
Spyro and well, here's the thing. It's been happening for both of the entire fucking franchises because
I know.
they all have, because these games have the demos to one another. Then you've got let's see, Crash Bash didn't have anything. Some games didn't have anything, but even before I think the GBA games, there was a lot of it. The GBA game, the friggin' Purple and Orange were the ones to really start to acknowledge, okay, here's them together in the same fucking room. So if anything, especially to, even if it's not them crossing over or having references to one another, there are people from, Sony working on both sides for both devs. A lot of the same, like we were just saying, Charles and Billis working, doing both
Yeah.
Crash and Spyro's designs. So like whole developers like Vivi being, working on both Crash and Spyro stuff. for GBA, for console. So like, Eurocom even doing Crash Bash and then later doing Hero's Tale. So there's a lot of crossover. It's been happening since essentially the beginning. So
Yeah.
we're just seeing a lot of them in the same room together now, which I guess is the odd part because they're doing it so frequent. Every other, if not every, installment has it, but in terms of Spyro, I think it's cool to keep him going in that sense. I know it's starting to feel kind of Skylanders-y, where it's like, okay, well, he doesn't have his own game. Every time we're seeing him, it's just with Crash.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Just jingling keys in front of me, like, oh yeah, we get it. We fucking give him a new game already.
I mean, it's not like I don't want Spyro. It's just I feel bad for Spyro fans that this is all they're getting, and it's just, oh hey, look guys, Spyro's in the new Crash game. It's like, cool, like it was expected, and I just kind of want to see him do something.
So we all want a new game, essentially.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, to the 25th anniversary, the fact Toys for Bob acknowledged it already speaks volumes, which means that something's happening this year. So
I mean, I still have high hopes for a brand new game, but right now, I'm just taking what I can get.
He's been acknowledged a lot this year so far, and I even made a video on that. So like, I have no doubt that something, at the very least, is going to be announced at some point this year. Even if it's not Summer Game Fest, I'm still banking on that. But even if it's not there.
I'm just gonna say I wouldn't expect the release this year. I would just expect it.
No, but to be announced, yes, I do think it's gonna come this year. An announcement's gonna come this year.
And here's the thing, I've said this a lot, but Spyro 4 was always going to be a more difficult game to produce than Crash 4 ever.
Yes.
Yeah, because Spyro is a lot more. It's like an open world kind of.
Well, not even that, but what are you gonna do with it? Like, where are you gonna take the characters and the plot and everything after?
Yeah.
That's even considering that it's going to be called or be a Spyro 4. Because I even made a video on that. True Crash 4, a true Spyro 4, none of this Enter the Dragonfly, Wrath of Cortex shit, and I'm over here like, okay, well, be that as it may, those are still the fourth games. Like, how are you gonna... I mean, Crash 4, that was before Crash 4 was even revealed, we didn't even know about it, so they definitely proved me wrong, which was something I wanted to see. When it comes to Spyro 4, though, yes, it is going to be a lot harder, because...
I mean, even Insomniac were kind of running out of ideas by the third game, but I do trust Toys for Bob in knowing what to do for a fourth entry.
I don't really care where it takes place in the timeline, honestly. I mean, like, Crash had an excuse of like time travel bullshit, and that's why the fourth game exists, and still having Wrath of Cortex and all that canon. But I don't know what you can do with Spyro to make it so, like, the Enter the Dragonfly and all that happened, and still making a fourth one. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? There's no time travel in that franchise and such.
Well, they could do a direct continuation. It would be hard to do that.
I guess it would be a mid-pull, something.
Don't ask me. I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't know where to take it, so I can't even predict. I can't even I can't even speculate. I have no clue.
I think it would be funny if they just gave up and rebooted it again for the third time.
Jesus, no thank you.
I wouldn't mind seeing, not like say copy this game through and through, but kind of like how Crash 4 took some elements from the PS2 games. Like in terms of like an inspiration, kind of maybe take some inspiration from a Hero's Tale, maybe.
Yeah, I
kind of led me to something I wanted to address. If you ever want new ideas for a new Spyro game, do exactly that. Take elements from what good the past games were offering, like the whole idea with elemental breaths. That sounded really cool back then. Yeah, take stuff like that and make it work into a new game.
I mean, hell, I'd even argue if you're gonna do that, take a little bit of legend and do the upgrade system, because that was actually one of the best things they did with the elemental abilities. That was always something really cool. It did really make you... It benefited you in the long run, but too because there was combat there, but at the very least, in a more classic Spyro-esque type of game, like, that could still have its benefits, and you could still develop puzzles and other things around that, and even, like, secrets around having, like, boosted abilities or whatever. That's the genius of that's what the developer is supposed to do. So I wouldn't know, I couldn't give specific hypothetical examples for how they could do that, but to see something like that would be really cool, I think. But yeah, take the best from like the past games, the more like not just open, but more like interconnected worlds and stuff. That would be cool. Like at least the home worlds have interconnected, but maybe bring back the portals just for the sake of, oh hey, this is one of the more iconic things about the the original, the classic Spyro. Is that
Depends on if they like with how they approach Crash, where they just took the format that 3 and 2 had and just essentially copy and pasted it and improved upon it. They could do that with Spyro 4 if they wanted to, or they could go for more open world with like they did in Jak and Daxter and Spyro Heroes too.
Honestly, those are those two games right there is what I wouldn't mind Spyro for kind of taking inspiration from.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want them to go too big.
For Crash or for Spyro?
Spyro.
Okay. Yeah, because everyone, I know if he's lurking in here, goddamn fucking Cody Merrill or whatever, really wants Free Flight. There is that, but, shit. I don't know. I mean, Spyro has...
Free flying break the game?
It depends on how you would do it. It really depends on how you would be able to do that.
If they design the game around it, it wouldn't be broken, no.
You would literally have to make a very Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom-esque game, but Spyro.
Yeah. Sounds awesome.
If you wanted to do that. It does sound awesome, but they would have to really make it feel like Spyro. I don't know if true open world would...
I don't think they would... I don't think that would probably be the best course of direction to take. I mean, if it's that huge, then...
Okay, not that huge, but like I'm thinking, like I said before,
like
Hero's Tale.
Yeah.
I keep it realistic.
I would
maybe...
love an open world Spyro game, but I would love it to have elements of what made it work, you know?
Yeah.
Spyro Odyssey, let's go. Let's get.
What if the open world had like the realm portals scattered around the map and they were the actual levels?
Yeah, that would be really cool. Maybe have like finding different ways to unlock the portals too.
Yeah.
Like if you bring orbs back or bring back like whatever, or have like, oh, this one requires like 5,000 gems. How many do you have? So do the tally up system the way 2 and 3 did it. And then just like, or hell, Moneybags could come back and be like the way he was before. Oh, I can unlock this for you, but yeah, the true villain could come back.
Or you could turn Moneybags to how he was in the Hero's Tale, make him be like the centric shop sort of thing.
The merchant, yeah, that's true. Fuck it, man. I just want to fight against Moneybags. I want a Moneybags boss fight.
Yeah, I want Moneybags to go full on rogue.
Honestly, I would love to see him as an antagonist this time around. I mean, 3 really set the bar for that.
Yeah. I feel that would be his natural progression as a character. In terms of his relationship with Spyro, I feel that's like the way it would naturally progress.
Yeah, it's like Spyro 3 planted the seeds for Moneybags to be a tertiary antagonist.
Yeah.
Let's see that it come full to fruition.
Moneybags Corporation, you have to
right. You just gave me an idea to a plot. Like, imagine the game just begins and you tricked Spyro into giving him all the gems, and he built an evil empire out of it. Out of all the gems, he's hard. Fuck, I can speak.
He hires Nasty No.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, if you want to bring back old villains, I'd say Nasty Nork probably fits the bill the most because Ripto straight up died, and the Sorceress is entirely gone now.
Well,
I mean, you
Risto
say
didn't
that, but
die.
yeah, the Spyro 3 prologue says that Ripto and Nasty Nork were like speaking to each other to discuss the Spyro problem.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It's a rule that video game characters can die by lava. That's what.
I mean, if Bowser can do it, then why not?
Yeah.
He turns into dry
I think for
Bowser.
Ripto it makes sense because he's a warlock.
Which led me to another thing. Who would be the main antagonist? We were all joking about Moneybags. I think maybe Nasty Nork would fit the bill. I mean, if you want to go in a new direction, I'd say take some elements from the older games and maybe try to make your own evil dragon of sorts. Because the Hero's Tale tried it, Legend of Spyro did it. If this new Spyro wanted to go in that direction, I'd be all for it. Just give us something interesting for a change.
Yeah,
I'd say either make a new build, either a new one, or bring back Ripto. That's my option.
I think I wouldn't mind Nasty and Ripto coming back, but I kind of want them to make a new villain as well. So maybe have like Nasty and Ripto be bosses like mid-game, and then have the new villain be the main antagonist.
Well, too, if you do something that's a little more streamlined as well, and you have like this like very like plot-driven progression, what would be really cool too is you could bring them back in clever ways. Like I remember one thing I was telling Miharu as an idea. Again, hypothetical dumb fan idea. I don't know if this would actually work in a Spyro game, but like if you want to bring them back for the sake of bringing them back, but like maybe give them some smaller roles, maybe not even necessarily boss fights, but like it would be cool if
playable.
Well, not even so much as that, but like if you want to bring them in for just a small little like "Hi, I'm here" moment. I remember there was something where we were like, oh, what if there was a moment in the story where they needed to find out like I don't even remember fully what it was, but it was something about that like going somewhere, but fucking like I can't even remember what it was. Something about not having like no dragons allowed, or a place that you go where there couldn't be dragons. Okay, well, who do we know that hates dragons? Oh, and they don't even say his name, and then just cuts, and it's like, oh fuck, we're going to Ripto. Like, something like that would be cool. Then you have to actually meet up with him, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing here, or whatever, and then like, you kind of have to sort of partner with him for a little bit, but it's not really a partnership, but like it kind of, or maybe he will backstab you later, like who knows. Just little things like that. If they find a way to really tell like a really nice story with it, and have fun with who they bring back and who like has a prominent role that's coming back or who doesn't, I think that could be really cool. I feel like maybe don't bring them back for the sake of we want him back as a villain or as the main villain. Like even Nasty, like bring him back in Hero's Tale and giving him a lot of prominence and, you know, Spyro stuff nowadays. Like, I'm surprised that Nasty didn't even make it into Crash on the Run, because you would think he would have, given the fact that he was in Nitro Field. So, like...
Wait, wasn't Nasty in On the Run?
Unless he was?
I think he was.
Wait,
I'm pretty sure he was the only one.
Because I just remember Dark Spyro. Was Nasty in On the Run?
He was.
I'm gonna Google.
It was Dark Spyro and Nasty Nork.
Okay, see, I didn't even remember that. But there you go. Like,
Our event was very forgettable.
I mean,
all Spyro villains except Ripto and Malifaux are bad. It's my opinion.
So I did the level, but I didn't fucking get the crystal. That's
Villains are bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you're saying that, and yet Ripto, the villain everybody loves, is the one that's angry all the time for no apparent reason other than, "Arr, I hate dragons." Rah!
I mean, he's a way better villain than the other villain in the franchise. Because like, he actually interacts with the main character and does something.
Well, he has fun being evil too.
Right. Here's the thing.
Yes.
Those are
in the context of Spyro 2, what does Ripto actually do beyond just hiding in castles?
Well, that's a little unfair because cut unused dialogue dictates that he had a lot to do with fucking everything over. You never have time to see any of these villains do anything. Like, when did, for example, like when did Cortex get the time to put all this stuff together? When did, so like, you know, suspending belief for a little bit, like, we don't know how long it took for Ripto immediately to start like fucking shit over in Avalar, but he did. And in some levels, some of the natives or locals or whoever do say as such, like, oh, or Laura will even explain, like, yeah, he came through here and he fucked everything over. But a lot of that stuff was unused, so you don't really get to, that full effect wasn't there.
And had they kept that in, I would have been just fine with that.
In the US version. The Japanese version, it is there. I forget what they say, but it was not removed in the Japanese version. I should know because I 100% of that game.
It's like so baffling to have.
Why did you do that?
Huh?
Why did you put 100% the Japanese version?
Why? Because I could.
My God.
Question
Poor
number
soul.
1 already. Second.
Also, it's actually not as bad as the Japanese first game because
Okay.
it's still pretty weird because the speed's still reduced, but the camera's a little bit better. Emphasis on a little.
A little, yeah.
I mean, Reunited
It's
had
not as bad.
yeah, no, I was gonna say Reunited had a chance to put that dialogue back in, but they wanted to stay faithful to what people knew. I can't pause. I can't pause. I cannot pause. I can't pause.
What?
Why can I not?
What the fuck?
Jesus.
Is,
Oh my
is
God.
there? Yeah, I was about to say, is something wrong with the controller?
I don't know. That was a little weird. I just wanted to drink some water real quick. Okay, we're good. Jesus Christ. Oh, God.
And had they kept that little detail in of Allura explaining what Ripto's doing, I would have been just fine with having him there.
I don't even know. Oh, you know what? Just hold on. I'm gonna restart this whole fight.
I mean, you do that.
It's just not worth it. So, I'm not sure if the reason was ever publicly, like, revealed as to why they removed that dialogue from the American version.
And you can't tell me to look at the manual because I'm actually playing the game. And nothing in the game indicates what Ripto is up to beyond taking over the castles. None of the NPCs even acknowledge him, for crying out loud.
But,
Fair enough.
Cause, I mean, it was pretty clever that there was some variety because Ripto he caused a lot of discourse throughout Avalar, but he wasn't the sole reason for a lot of stuff. Like, I think specifically, if I remember right, like the war between the Landlubbers and the Breeze Builders, that was not Ripto. Ripto didn't pit them against each other. That was just them.
Oh no, that was their own.
So it's little things like that. It's little things like that in hindsight are actually kind of cool. But I really wish that the American OG game did keep that dialogue in, so that way you would get more of the sense of, oh yeah, Ripto's like fucking up shit here. Because you would just have to like read the dialogue or fucking listen to those unused clips. Or if you're
The unfortunate
Japanese,
thing is they came out. Yeah, they came out way too late before Toys for Bob even had a chance to dig that stuff up.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So it's like a real missed opportunity now.
That being said, though, like going back to the original like kind of thing I was saying, it's a little weird. It's both fair. It's simultaneously fair and unfair to kind of like judge Ripto as being like the worst villain because he quote unquote barely does anything. Yeah, at face value, that's kind of what they implied, or that's what it was implied that they were conveying. When really, actually, no, they were going to. I don't know if they just wanted. I don't know if it was because they thought that the dialogue would take too much from the comedy of what was going on screen, and they thought the jokes were funnier than the fucking lore, which that's don't know about that. Kind of a disagree on that, but I just really wish that
I mean, there's a way you can have both and still make it work.
Yeah, that's true. I just like that Ripto has fun with being a villain whenever he is on screen, and that's what makes him memorable. Nasty for just being, you know, the first villain. Like, he was cool. He has a cool design.
Nasty had some pretty good potential, and I do like that he's been popping up in more games recently.
Sorceress was kind of weird. I feel she was the weakest because not only does she have not that much screen time, I could go either way with how dark she gets in terms of her plan. I don't really care either way. I don't think it's too dark for the series.
Still has a big impact on the game. Everyone's talking about all the evil she's doing.
True,
There's
but
a good dynamic between her and Bianca, which I really like to see.
I really wish there was a dynamic between her and Spyro, because even though
the only real thing that hurts the game, yeah, I would have loved to see something like that with how much they were building up the story and everything.
Yeah.
I just wish there was a sense of her presence, because, like, even in Spyro 2, you had, like, the ripped or, like, banners everywhere.
Yeah.
That, like, kind of
Here we
showed...
have the Rhinox. I mean, they're essentially her goons. She's sending them all out to cause all this mayhem.
Yeah.
Another Spyro villain I guess I like. I don't know if it counts, but I like Chaos.
I
Chaos
think
from
Nasty
Skylanders.
does the same thing, sending his Nords out to do his bidding.
It's like the only one I can think of. Like, Ripto, Chaos, and
Yeah,
Malachor are the only good ones.
Yeah, I heard Chaos, and I would say, yeah, I'm all for the guy.
Okay, well...
What about the Cortex?
It's not a Spyro villain.
My favorite Spyro
It
villain.
is? Yeah,
Spyro
it's in
Orange.
Spyro Orange. Yeah.
Come on.
And Skylanders too, if you think about it. He's kind of villainous there too. There you go. You can play Spyro there.
And Fake Crash.
Captain Falcon is my favorite.
Oh yes,
No,
Fake
you
Crash,
can't.
my favorite Spyro villain.
No, you can't play as Fake Crash. But
No, you
can
can't
play
play as him, but he's a villain in the Skylanders level.
So I'm really sorry, but I cannot stand Chaos. He is so annoying. I do not like him.
He's so stupid. I can't help but love him.
In the games, in Academy, I actually did, because it's a show, so the writers gave him more funny things to say and do. I think he shines a little bit more. Plus, a lot of the plot that happens in Academy is focused around him and his family, and that's actually kind of cool, because the games never gave us anything of substance to really latch onto in terms of that, in terms of plot at all. So, like, when I was watching that, I'm like, oh shit, okay, like, I'm kind of invested in this. Like, I want to see... And they don't have him... I mean, he usually is still the way he is in the games, just wacky and stupid, but, like, they know how to utilize that. But they know how to utilize his comedy. It's not just him flailing around screaming every, like, 20 seconds. He does have his moments where he's thinking about shit. He might team up with someone. He might betray them. Versus the games where even if he does do that, it is very, like, straightforwardly played. And he just kind of has that one tone throughout, like, the whole franchise.
You say that, yet Superchargers had the biggest story out of all the games. I've played them.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Superchargers was like, there's this dark entity that's out to destroy Skylands for good, and there's this central conflict, like, will Chaos join the darkness? Will he turn on the darkness? And it actually ends with him... It actually ends with Chaos actually turning the tides. I thought that was really interesting. Which makes it weirder that Imagineers went back to the status quo. But that's a whole other thing on its own.
Yeah, I remember watching all the cutscenes a long time ago. I had to for one of my videos, but I don't remember much of what happened. Because a lot of... there was one game where the majority of the cutscenes mainly just consisted of Flynn doing shit and trying to be funny. And I can't remember which game that was. But, like, no one else got a focus, almost.
I beat her.
I beat her.
That's all I hear.
I beat. I'm Skylanders. I'm a fur.
I'm a furry now, Peter.
Remember when I met Spyro the Dragon, Peter?
They have a fucking cutaway to Skylanders. God, they would do that shit.
I feel like I'm probably the only one here that actually likes the games for what it's worth.
I only played Imaginators and it's fine. I've heard previous games were better, but I can't confirm that.
from my personal
Spyro's
experience,
Adventure was okay. Giants was a great expansion on it. Swap Force is where things got interesting, but yeah, I think the one thing that hurts it is how huge the levels are in comparison. Trap Team is probably my least favorite because of how the gimmick of the game was just all in your face. Like, the whole thing with the game is how you're supposed to capture all these villains and put them in these crystals. I thought that was okay as a gimmick, but yeah, they overplayed it far too much for my liking. Superchargers was pretty cool. I like the driving elements of it. And then we have Imaginaries. Probably one of my favorites. And I do like the whole concept of the creation crystals.
I'll say this much: Imaginators, from my personal experience, was leagues better than Spyro's Adventure. Those are the only 2 games I've played and beaten. Those are the only 2 games I cared to get.
I have all the Skylanders games. I just got them recently, since I got like a second Wii U. But but I've only played Imaginators and the first one so far, and I really did enjoy Imaginators. But I'm kind of looking forward to Superchargers because I have DK and Bowser.
Oh yeah, those were fun highlights.
Yeah.
My favorite Skylanders.
The problem with Skylanders is that I had the Imaginators and I wanted to play more of the levels, but there's so much gatekeeping behind figures I don't even own, so I have to go to like eBay or some shit. Like, fuck that.
All you really need is like one of every element. So
yeah, to beat the main story, yes.
Yeah.
Or
but I'm just talking about the other content besides the main story.
Or conversely,
so if you're worried about unlocking everything else, you really only need 10 figures max, one per element.
Only 10, only?
God damn it.
Not only 10, but you get the idea. There are 10 elements.
Enough to like flip between at least, because you're gonna die. At least a couple times. That's also something that matters, is having enough to even sustain before you fucking game over or whatever.
Yeah. Just, I don't know, it's stupid. That's my review, it's stupid.
I would thumbs that up.
As someone who has gone out of his way to collect basically everything for every game, what I would suggest is pick whichever one interests you the most and stick with them. I mean, if you're going into this casually, that's my suggestion anyway.
I went to it casually and it was fucking hard to find Imaginators because, like, that game is fucking, it's like almost kind of rare nowadays, even on PS4.
Choices.
Yeah, that's something I will not defend. The demand for these figures are so high. They're the hardest to come across.
Dude, how I even got the game is through fucking Facebook Marketplace. That's how I got the game. That's how bad it got. I couldn't find it anywhere for a reasonable price. I could find it on Amazon or something like that, but it was like $100. Like, fuck that.
Never forgive myself that I passed up the chance to get Imaginators on Switch at a decent price.
Man,
Don't talk to me about Switch release.
Yeah, the cartridge alone is like $200. Like, Jesus.
I mean, if you're getting into Skylanders now, then good luck going after them at the because you're gonna have to spend at least a fork and a leg just trying to get everything.
Or any Toys to Life, to be honest.
And
yeah, I was trying to find even. Go on.
Oh, well, say your thing first, because that's actually a transition point to what I was going to bring up right now.
Okay. No, I was going to say, even like trying to find the Smash Bros. Regular Mario amiibo is like super hard now. And I can't even find that shit.
Wow, wow, really? Just vanilla Smash Brothers Mario, that's it? You can't even find that?
Yeah, it's like...
Jesus.
I'm gonna try, actually. Like,
I've kept my Lego Dimension Sonic in a very... Like, I've been taking care of that, so it doesn't, like, break or anything, because that goes for, like, a lot of money online now. That's how like insane Toys to Life stuff is.
Toys to Life.
No matter what game.
Yeah. No, for sure. Toys to Life is something that is. I super understand the appeal. I definitely get it. I don't think any one company besides maybe Nintendo handled it like well from like any real standpoint. The manufacturing standpoint, the selling standpoint, the fucking like marketing standpoint. I don't think anyone hit it perfect or as perfect as you could get with an idea like that. Then probably Nintendo, because of how they decided to both price and kind of, I suppose, what's the word? Not code, but like program, I guess, their fucking figures to work. Since they're like, they go across multiple games and shit. No one else, for some reason, thought to do that. I guess, but within, I guess.
Well, Lego was one game.
No, true. Well, most of them were. I mean, the Skylanders franchise was just that. The figures can't work with anything else. They are specifically Skylanders figures. But Amiibo, most of the Mario ones can work with a shitload of Mario games, with Smash Brothers, with like other shit too. So, and, etc. with like most other of their bigger franchises. But even to what I was going to say as well, the transition point into what I was going to say about Twist. Well, mainly for like something like Skylanders specifically, because that's the one that actually had gotten some buzz not too long ago. I know fucking Bobby Kotick said something earlier about it, where he was like, "Oh yeah, one big benefit of being acquired by Activision is we'll have access to a larger manufacturing team." So he was like, I could foresee the comeback of Skylanders and Guitar Hero. And I'm like, okay, well, shit, first off, that's a ballsy, huge statement. But also, it's not going to quite work the same. How you guys were saying, too. How even nowadays, it's hard to find the shit that was already made 10 years ago. Almost 10 years ago. Roughly 10 years ago. It's going to be hard as well to make and sell newer... Like a 7th Skylanders or a new Guitar Hero. Originally, I said this like a couple of years ago because of COVID, but now that that's not like the hugest problem as it was before, it's kind of more the repercussions of COVID. Now we're in a depression, so shit costs a lot more, and it's just I don't know if it's going to be good for business. I don't know if that's going to be able to. It's not going to work the same way no matter how you cut it, as it did 10 years ago, and even then they over fucking did it. To the point where they just kind of like oversaturated their own market. So they shot themselves in the foot from the very beginning when Skylanders did it. Because Lego didn't really learn from that. Fucking Disney Infinity definitely didn't learn from that shit. So...
I will say I didn't mind what Disney did after they quit out of Toys to Life, where they re-released those games and gave you everything. Like, no Toys to Life stuff required. They just gave you everything.
That's interesting. It also kills the very concept of what they were trying to go for from the beginning. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Is it a win-win? Like, I'm not really sure. It's...
Yeah, it's weird. I know with Lego, I have to wonder if what they did would have been... Could they have made a game like that with the amount of licenses they had to deal with?
I don't even know. The fact that Lego Dimensions happen at all is like baffling to me because, of just that.
Yeah. Because I don't know if that game would work without any sort of like monetary like stuff to, for them to buy out all these licenses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool that they did that, but doesn't that defeat the purpose of, the whole thing being a Toys to Life thing?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
I mean, like, if the games are good, they should be able to hold up on their own, shouldn't they? Or
sure, but if you're trying to boast a very specific genre,
except we're talking about Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
Is that game that bad?
Oh fuck.
I wouldn't say it's the worst thing I've ever played, but I actually tried it a while back, but I just couldn't get into it. I don't know if it's the whole idea of the game being you have to make your own worlds and everything. That sounds like something I should be able to get behind, but it just didn't click.
I think they just provided like the bare fucking minimum and said, "Here, you do it. Do the rest." And that was really weird because I remember when Disney Infinity was at the peak of its popularity, and it was because they were mainly trying to cash in on, okay, Skylanders has a lot of characters. We have a lot of iconic characters, so therefore, that should sell people alone on the idea, because not only are we... Okay, this guy needs to fucking piss off. Not only are you being able to... Not only are you able to play as all these dudes, but, like, you can, like, do whatever you want here. And it's essentially a sandbox game, except that they're not selling you on the gameplay. They're selling you on the characters. So, yeah, you'll often find yourself going, okay, awesome, I can play as Sully or fucking, like, whoever else, or Jack Sparrow or Rapunzel or whatever. But what do you do?
Like,
You know, like, what's the point of the game?
God, it's like, even with that description alone, it's like already they missed the point of what made Skylanders work in the first place. It's not the amount of characters you have, it's what you do with them that really makes it stand out.
Oh, no, stop. Crystal's over here, right? Or did I already...
The only real Toys to Life that I got really into was Lego, and that was purely just for the fact that it had a bunch of franchises I liked in it.
No Dimensions.
Yeah, Lego Dimensions. Like I had Sonic in it. I had, you know, Doctor Who and all that, and the fan service for it was great. And you know, I don't know. I guess that was the one I personally got really into, but I don't know if I would be able to go for another like Toys to Life game again after that.
Irrelevant, but to the update on the Mario amiibo, I found one for $30. Yeah.
Jeez, that's
I
so expensive.
$30, yeah.
Not to mention the fucking...
That much for Mario?
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
not to mention the fucking scalpers. Like,
Oh yeah.
that...
Oh no.
Especially after the whole PS5 stuff as well. It's like,
Sure, yeah.
yeah, no.
But when it came to Toys to Life, like fucking... I was gonna say Toys for Bob. Toys for Life. When it came to Toys to Life? My god. Yeah, I know, remember, it's Uka Uka. Fucking... Yeah, scalpers were nuts with all that shit.
There was that one crazy one for Rosalina, I think you remember.
Forget, honestly.
Oh wait, was she like a rare figure or something?
She was
No,
exclusive to Target.
No, dude, but like...
there was like there was someone that hated Rosalina so much he sculpted so many fucking Rosalina
Really?
amiibos.
Why?
Yes.
Why would you go through that
I don't know,
effort?
dude.
No, I know who you're talking about as well.
That just makes it sound like he's a super fan. He's like, I want all of these. Because you like her? No, because I fucking hate her. What sense does that make?
Yeah, no, he hated her.
And I distinctly remember this too. He posted the images with like him flipping him off.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you trying to prove here?
He did it to some of the other Smash characters as well.
I think he's a troll, but it's still
yeah,
fun,
that
like-
sounds very much like troll behavior.
He is. He
Okay.
is.
I found the article. I'll give it to you.
Well, I've got a
I'll put
Rosalina
it
in
in
box, so that
Discord.
guy can go fuck himself. That's hilarious, though.
Okay, where is it? Yeah, if you're curious, it's in the chat now.
I'll look at it later. It's hilarious.
But yeah, I don't know. I think with Skylanders, if it were to ever come back, I don't know if I would want it to be Toys to Life.
I was gonna say...
Yeah, you would need to find some way to make it work without having it being a main central gimmick.
Well, here's the thing.
Make it like a Lego game.
Huh?
Like, make it like one. You know how like
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
old
yeah,
Lego
yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Where
Well, you
get a
just
bunch of characters?
meet a bunch of characters, or you unlock characters, and then you can just play as them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would honestly love a system like that where you unlock characters
Well,
as
wait.
you go.
Didn't they do that in one of the mobile games?
Did
Ring
they?
of Heroes.
That was
I
Ring of
believe they
Heroes.
did that.
Okay, so like, So it
Yeah,
should-
do something like that.
Yeah. I mean, hell, not to get too much away, I have one of my game projects that I want to work on that I do have ideas for is kind of like that. And ironically enough, funny enough, call me hypocrite, whatever. The idea initially came from me wanting to see Skylanders done a little bit better, a little more consistent, a little more streamlined. So this idea I had, yeah, is where you either along the journey meet, befriend, or battle first a bunch of just characters, and then they join your party, and you can go through a menu and fucking pick who you want to, play as, and there's a transition point where we'll bring your current character out, bring the new one in, and it's very Skylanders-esque in that way, but like I feel it's a cleaner process. And if Skylanders itself would, want to come back, that I feel would be the way to do it.
I remember spending a good amount of time on Ring of Heroes, and if it were to ever come back, I would love to play something like this.
Yeah.
We'll see if Activision feels the same way, and who they're going to get to do that. Could be a Toys for Bob
You
game,
don't think
who
it'd
knows?
be
Ironic,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
ironic considering the people who worked on Skylanders are the very same people we have now working with, the remakes and everything. Toys for Bob was there from the very start.
It was so funny.
And Vicarious Visions and Beanox worked alongside them, so make of that what you will.
I mean, it was so funny. The fact I never really blamed anyone, or even as a whole, like Toys for Bob, for how I felt towards Spyro's Adventure. Because to me, I mean, I still heavily dislike that game. I do still feel it's a bad game, but that's just okay. Well, there's my karma for calling Skylanders a bad game. However, I've got 69 lives, so I still win in the end. But anyway, so it's so funny thinking that like there was a part of me that, I mean, again, didn't necessarily fully blame or hate on Toys for Bob for Spyro's Adventure, but just was questioning all of their fucking choices. And then they invited me out to play Crash. So, I mean, it's whatever. It's a give and take, I guess. It's because the more I saw that what they were doing when they were given classic Crash and Spyro to work with, they were like, hey, we can do something with this. And they like really found a way to like make Spyro feel like Spyro, make Crash feel like Crash. And I don't know, it's just...
Given what I've heard of the history behind how Skylanders came to be, I would rather take what we have now than the dark and gritty direction they were going to take at first.
I mean,
because I remember reading how
Spyro's
Kingdom was... Yeah, I remember reading how it was supposed to be more graphic and bloody. And yeah, I would rather not want that from my Spyro experience.
I don't even know if the Spyro franchise would survive after something like that.
Probably not.
No.
Well, Spyro's...
So I would rather take what we have here.
Here's the thing. Would that have spun off into its own series? Because I still don't count Skylanders as a Spyro thing. I count that as... as its own thing. That happens to have Spyro in it. So... I mean,
nothing inherently wrong with that. I mean, that's how I always saw it anyway. Once it grew into its own franchise, it's like, yeah, this is it now.
It's like how the Rabbits grew into its own franchise too.
Yeah, I think that's like the best references, like how the Rabbids were part of Rayman first, and then they just kind of became their own IP.
And they became bigger than Rayman itself, and that's depressing. There's something wrong with society.
Isn't there a Rabbids movie in the works?
There was
Wouldn't
the longest
surprise
time,
me.
but there hasn't been anything new for it in a while. There haven't been any recent updates, but it had been in production for like fucking almost 10 years.
I know there was a Netflix TV movie as well.
I remember
There's
there
the
was a
show.
stupid cartoon. Yeah, the show, yeah.
Rabbids Invasion.
Yeah, I remember watching that sometimes before, like, going to school, because I had nothing, there was nothing on, so I just had that watching. That's how this'll do.
Got nothing better to
gave
do,
it
might
a
as well
watch.
watch Rabbids.
Yeah.
I gave it a watch once because it was Aardman, and I usually like what they do.
Oh.
And it was
Yeah.
it was fine. I couldn't watch it for too long.
It's just stupid. It's stupid kids' entertainment. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
Just like most television nowadays.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't keep up with what kids watch these days. I don't care.
But the children.
And neither do I.
If I'm watching any cartoon as of late, it's probably on Disney at the minute.
Man.
Hey guys, we made it. It's time for Dr. Krotik.
Dr. Ned.
Dr. Ned Cortex.
Ned Climax.
And he goes, wee wee wee.
So stupid. I love that impression. Wee, wee, wee.
I'm sorry.
Alright, check it out, Crash.
I'm depressed. Please call me Ogoka.
Once again,
I forgot that they made a couple Crash jokes in Family Guy. I forgot there was that one of him on like the plane or whatever, and like these guys are getting off or something, and he's like, the first person to whatever the fuck gets a free copy of Crash Bandicoot, and I'm like, what the hell?
What the I never got that joke. Was that just a reference? Haha, look, I mentioned the thing.
I have no fucking clue. I seriously do not know.
Did they just say that for the sake of name dropping? Because
Probably.
I'm really having a hard time seeing the connection.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense in context.
And there was another one where Tucker Carlson, like the news reporter, play like on a Game Boy, and it's like, oh, eat my dust, Crash Bandicoot, or something like that.
There's a reference to Crash in, like, it was a big plot point in one episode of The Simpsons.
Dash Dingo, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Dash Dingo.
Yeah, Dash Dingo. Who apparently in the newer episodes has their own clothes shop.
It's okay.
Wait, what?
Yo, give Crash a clothes shop.
in the newer episodes?
Yeah, and they also have Dash Dingo in like one of the Simpsons mobile games as well, so they've kept Dash Dingo about.
Oh, how come no one put that on the survey? Oh, well, who would see outside of the Crash universe? Dash Dingo.
Should've.
I'm shocked I didn't write that down, because being how big of a Simpsons fan I am.
But I remember somebody, I forgot who it was. I don't know if it's someone I know or if it was another artist. So, there was an artist on Twitter who did do like a Crash 4, like, skin ideas or whatever. And they like painted over one of Crash's models. And they made him look like Dash Dingo. And I was like, oh shit, that actually looks really cool on him. I forgot who did it though.
We need it.
Yeah, make Dash Dingo canon. Please. You can make Willy Wombat canon. Can you please make Dash Dingo canon?
I just remember seeing that episode as a kid, and I was like, "Oh, it's Crash Bandicoot. I played that. It's great."
And the weird cowboy guy talking about baby heads or babies or something.
Yeah.
My favorite villain.
You must find the 7 crystal babies.
Yeah.
They are in deep didgeridoo.
Oh, the fact you know it is amazing.
Yes.
I remember.
Oh, you bitch! Oh my god, they tag teamed me! Did you see that shit?
I did.
I bounced off his fucking... I bounced off his force field because he put it up right when I got to him, and I landed on fucking... on their swirling mass over here. Jesus. Why am I having such... It's because I'm multitasking.
Dude, I love this boss fight. It's just such a cool dynamic. You have
it's really
Crash
good.
trying to fight Cortex, and you have Aku trying to fight Uka.
Except he puts
and
the
this
fucking...
will never be beaten.
Yeah, except he puts the mines in the most inconvenient fucking places, which I know is the point, but Jesus Christ.
I think there are more mechanically sound boss fights, but I think this is the most cool for a dynamic perspective.
Yeah.
Yo, Sakurai, in the next Smash, do you want to make Uka and Aku fighting an assist trophy?
Oh hell yeah!
We should have that in Rumble. I know he's already in. I know Uka's already in Tiki Towers, but that'd be awesome. You just summon them in a spitting mass, just coming after you.
Yeah, give Aku Aku something to do at least.
What? He put that right
Yeah.
on me. God damn it. He will. I know for a
If
fact
it-
he will. I just don't know what he's gonna do. I believe there's already some like art or promo image with him featured in it, but I don't know what he's going to do in the game. Oh shit.
He's gonna make everyone teleport.
Get in there, you fucking dick. Hi, Frankie. Cortex is on a roll today. Yeah. He took over the world like 3-4 times already.
Or try to.
Oh! Well, in these alternate timelines we're making, every time I fucking die, yeah, he took over the world.
Yeah.
And he wasn't depressed.
I got the. He got the big bags of ice for his head. He wanted.
He finally got the girl with big bags of eyes.
I still think the funniest thing in this franchise is like this dumbass Bandicoot keeps beating this like genius scientist and he just ends up getting depressed because of it. It's great.
It's beyond human comprehension. That's why I can't study Crash. Like, it's like how did they defeat this Bandicoot?
I mean, the way I look at it, which makes it even funnier, is I genuinely believe Crash has no sentience sometimes. Like, he doesn't know where he is.
He lives in the moment, for sure.
Yeah.
That's why he's cool. He's like relaxed. It's like a chill character.
Maybe I should retire to a nice big beach with a nice big drink and a woman with nice big bags of ice for my head.
Ice for my head.
He says, "Oh, what the fuck?"
There are still the We still have a chance to
Crash, please let me fucking win for once.
That's what he says in Wrath of Cortex.
Like he says in Wrath of Cortex, if I remember correctly.
Can't you let me
win?
Do you want for me, you cretin?
I really wish I could find the tweet of like just Cortex crying and it's just Crash responses laughing and then going, "Whoa."
Have you guys seen the bad dub of the Wrath of Cortex end cutscene?
I don't think I have.
That shit is
Wait,
funny. I gotta find it again. Someone, well, I shouldn't say that.
That
it
sounds
sounds rude,
familiar.
but
I don't think I've seen it.
some dude, some kid or whatever, like did like a dub of. He did all the voices. He just did like a little like voice actor fan dub, and he didn't make anything up. He did do an alternate video where he did make shit up for them to say. But in the one that I saw first, he says all the lines the way they're said. But he's trying to do the voices, and it's not. I mean, he was probably like 12, maybe like 13, 14. It's a really hilarious video. I need to find it again. Because Johnny, G-Man Rocks, showed that to me fucking years ago. Show's hilarious.
Oh. Do you still have contact with him?
I haven't heard from him in a while. It's been a few years.
Okay.
Last time I saw him was at E3, so.
Gotcha. Which E3?
2019, the last one that was in person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would love for E3 to come back. I just don't know how it's going to. They didn't say that E3 as an entity, as a concept, is outright finished, but even I'm sure they don't know how they're gonna proceed with making it stand out since everyone's going digital now.
Dude, I hear every year. Oh, E3 is dead. E3 is dead every year. It's just like it's never going to fully die. Please stop. Tired of this fucking stupid rambling.
We beat the video game.
Oh. You're still not a gamer. Gamer don't play games.
Gamers do not play games. Not sure if
You only
knew this.
talk about them. That's the rule.
They only talk about them with a little PNG version of themselves.
Yeah, your rant Sona.
Rant Sona?
Yeah. Haven't you heard that term before?
No, I like that.
It's like when it's that, you know, the trope where like they'll have like their own character like with the crossed arms like that.
Yeah.
That's called a rant Sona.
Rant Sona. The fact that it has that name, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's used to mock that sort of genre of YouTube, but I still like that name.
Oh, did I find it? Hold on. Let's see. Oh, God. I have to go back through a couple, actually. Of videos. A couple of years worth of videos. Hold on. There's this. I don't know if this is the same guy, though. Come on, where is it? I need this. I need to be funny. Through somebody else.
So true.
Okay, let's just do this. If I can't find it, then whatever, it's fine. But it was really funny. Okay, cutscene, I guess. Oh, come on. It has to be here somewhere. I don't see it. F's in the chat. I'm seeing the ending cutscene that people have uploaded, but I'm not seeing the dub that I saw. Probably because it's that obscure, I guess. Alright, whatever. That's fine. Anyway, we did it. We've beaten the video game.
Wow.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Whoa.
No one has ever done that before. You're the first one.
Amazing.
After like 25 years, someone has beaten this video game.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys said you wanted to see the thing, so we're gonna do the thing. Let me do a couple relics real quick.
How many relics do you need to open that?
5.
5.
Because it opens up the first level, and then you need 5 each time, so for a total of all of them. Well, at least 25. To get all the levels unlocked, but then in order to go for 105%, every single relic needs to be obtained, and they all have to be gold. That also includes hot cocoa and
Agapus Rex.
Yeah. Which it's weird that those even have fucking relics, but whatever. It's weird that Incubus Rex has a time trial attached to it at all, but okay, whatever.
Dude, I love these levels. They're the best.
Why couldn't we get more China levels?
Especially in I don't want to be that good at Shitsun Insane Trilogy, but like I feel like these feel a lot better in the original game.
Well, they do.
More fluid.
A lot of Coco stuff does, especially the jet ski levels.
Oh yeah, jet skis are just
like in terms of
they
handling.
did fuck that up. Yeah, the handling is real fucked in the remake. Oh. Sorry, Vicarious Visions, I love you, but you fucked up there.
See, all that, and we just got the Sapphire, but I really don't care, because I just want to show off the 6th workroom. We're going to call it,
STD.
STD, sure.
That's what I call everything these days. Oh, with this sort of names.
Glad Terry also doesn't like, like time trials. Oh, look, I was off by 2 seconds. Shit. Oh, wait, we should go for making waves.
Yep. And the first level is an easy one too.
Oh yeah, I should go for that as well.
Just avoid the underwater level at all costs.
Yeah,
Should be good.
I'm just trying to get 5 easy ones. I don't really care what I'm doing right now. I was thinking, you know, vehicles because the whole point's to go fast. But yeah, I can also do Toad Village. Okay, fuck that box in particular. I guess I wanted to get it, but Coco didn't.
She didn't consent to that button in prom.
Oh, hooey. I miss Dave. Where is he?
I don't know. Is Fast still here?
I'm still here. Hello.
Okay.
Shit.
I just wanted to shake.
We talked for
I don't know
about a
about
good
that.
solid hour straight, and then now that we're silent, I'm like, oh fuck. How do I be entertaining? Poopy. Okay, laugh now. That's your cue to laugh.
Close.
Where is the fucking... I should have the Discord soundboard open. Fuck.
I got you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not like this.
Not like this. Crash, please leave me alone.
Coco. How long for this one? 103. You got it. Who's ready to get jump scared?
Oh my god, fuck!
You know
I hate
what?
you.
You know what's funny? I just got a pop-up after you played that says adjust your soundboard volume.
Oh my god.
See you new.
Yeah. Discord's like, holy fuck.
You wanna know what's funnier than 24?
25. 69.
So stupid.
Oh, the Vine Brewer. Everyone's favorite.
Bingo! Ho, 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 ho.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
The best
What's
Luigi
wrong
quote.
with Luigi sounded so different then.
The best Luigi quote next to "Oh
I
my
love that.
god."
Oh my god.
No, that's Wario, is it not?
That's both of them.
They both do. Wario does it better.
Yeah,
Close one.
that's
Tub.
what I saw. There's this source filmmaker video, I think, or maybe it might be Dreams, for like Wario dies in a car crash and it's just, oh my god.
and then he goes,
Twitter stinks. I'm leaving.
I agree with him.
Oh my god.
How many soundboards do you have? Jeez.
I have a lot.
Dude, it sucks
Really
that,
feel the suck.
Yo.
How do I adjust the volume for the soundboard? Okay, never mind, I found it out.
I should probably ask Lou if he has the raw VO of him saying that. That would be amazing. The answer's very
Yes.
likely no, but that'd be amazing if you did.
Yeah.
Really feel the suck.
Really feel the suck.
Really feel the suck.
Aw,
Why would the Among Us sound?
What did
Because it
you,
was soft.
you fucking? I like that you edited it.
Wait, are those two different clips, or is that really what it sounds like?
It's two it's different clips. Like I played
Yeah.
Hawaii and he played Among Us at the same time.
That was
yeah,
like
I thought you guys
that
edited
was
that
like
together.
chemistry in the making.
No.
I didn't intend that happen.
That was funny.
Oh man, it sucks that I can't have other soundboards from other Discord servers without paying for the full priced Discord Nitro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can only. I have Discord Nitro, but it's the basic plan, so I can only like spam emojis from other servers. That's all I can do.
I'll put KAW for Kawaii.
Why?
Ah, Hawaii.
Crystals!
We also have
Not like this!
y'all's favorite.
Eject him? That's impossible!
It's the best one.
Whoa!
I lied. That's the best one.
I should put that in the server.
Whoa.
Oh.
This the server I'm in has the Sonic Unleashed screen where the Warhog screen.
Ah!
Oh, the one. I still can't get over like the behind the scenes of that scream. The fact that Jason Griffith had strep throat the day he recorded that, and he screamed so loud he nearly passed out.
Yeah, that's why I want to play.
Where's Coco? Where's Coco going? Yeah.
Yeah.
We need that one.
What's the weird noise she makes in tag team racing? Yeah.
Yes. Got that one.
Does someone have that?
No, I could though if you want. If you really want me to.
Do
I'm just
that.
saying, someone's gonna make it a thing.
Yes. There we go.
Can we have Who's Your Daddy as well?
What?
Oh yeah. I forgot.
The
Cortex
game
said
that gives you so much material to work with.
Yeah.
Oh, especially by Titans, where everything fucking Cortex says is a goddamn innuendo. Here we go. We did it.
We need.
Woo.
Hey.
What about the Cortex lines in the tag team racing credits?
Oh, that too. Those are pretty funny.
Nobody says with such authority.
Who's ready for ski craze? Ski craze.
Dude, I love that in the remake of this level you could cheese it so hard with the nitro crates at the start of the level.
Well, until they patched it out.
Yeah, that's when it became a bad remake after that patch.
Couldn't forgive him for that.
No, they had to remove a thing that made me have to actually play the level, which is a bad thing because this level is horrible.
Ski crazed?
No,
you're
isn't
talking
this
about-
That sounds like
you're talking
Hot
about
Cocoa.
Hot Cocoa.
Yeah. Okay, it might not be horrible. It might just
this
be
is the one that's
the
fucking
controls.
huge. Yeah. This is the one
It's like,
that's
what did they
long.
mean? I remember in the PlayStation Underground videos they said they wanted to make a free roaming gameplay, and I guess this is what they meant. Because like I don't know what else could be.
Wait. fuck? Ow. Thanks. Just ran into that nitro.
I like the aesthetic of this level a lot, though.
I like it too, but don't stare at any one particular spot for too long because your eyes are gonna bleed.
Really?
There is an alarming amount of orange in this level. Like my eyes are starting to get weird just looking at the water. Oh fuck me! Oh shit!
Don't hurt yourself, man.
I mean, I have to watch the screen to play the game. I don't know how this is gonna work. Okay.
I do it for the funny orange Bandicoot.
Soul Farm is good as long as you get to play practice.
It's all for Rumble. We gotta do it for Rumble.
Do you want to know what? Like, there's like a filter in Crash 4 that's hurts my eyes very bad.
There's a ton of them. Which one?
Oedipus Dimension.
Oedipus? That one's pretty. I like it for how creative it is, but it is a little.
It's the Stone Age level, L levels. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about.
And playing
Yeah,
inverted
Oedipus.
mode is like an eyesore.
The funny thing, okay, so I say that with like the colors here, it's not bothering me that much. I'm just saying like, oh wow, there's a lot of orange happening here. But like, ironically enough, my eyes aren't bothered by the effects or the filters from Crash 4. I actually don't mind them.
I wish I was you.
I was gonna say the ones that hurt me is like Oedipus in the 11th dimension.
Oh yeah. The comic book art style is.
Yeah,
I didn't mind the 11th dimension too much. I thought that was okay. Oedipus Dimension is something else.
Yeah, it makes my eyes hurt that I have to take breaks from it. Oh fuck.
Honestly, I kind of hope they don't bring back inverted in next Crash.
It's not a bad idea. It was just implemented a little bit poorly.
Funny enough,
It should be more of an option rather than, the driving point for 106%.
Thank you. Yes.
Do it like just make it a filter you can unlock, and then toggle it on if you want for a bit of fun, I guess.
or if oh for sure, yeah, because I believe Rift Apart did that. There were unlockables through the gold vault, so you could like change the filters and shit. Just don't put it towards percentage because you're essentially playing the game twice. It's a very Mario Galaxy 1 effect where you're playing the main game as Mario and you have to play fucking everything over again as Luigi.
Yeah. I remember I got a 120% in Galaxy then. So I unlocked Luigi, but I didn't really play as him because I didn't want to play the game over again.
I was really happy getting 120, and when it said you can play as Luigi, my face just dropped.
Yeah, so show of hands, how many of you all ended up eventually getting the 242 stars? Because I was...
In Galaxy 2, yeah.
I did.
No, I'm talking about Mario Galaxy 1, because there's 242 stars there as well.
I did.
No, fuck that.
Actually, when I did it, it was round about the time. It was when the 3D All Star Collection came out. I just went on like a massive binge. I got all 120 stars in 64. Then I did 100% in Sunshine, and then I got every single star for both Mario and Luigi on the Switch.
Damn. That's dedication right there.
I think I was just like having fun playing Mario and forgot how fun those games were.
I've gotten a bit. I got back into Mario a little bit after the movie.
Oh, Terry, you never played Mario Galaxy? Definitely fucking play it. I would personally say, if you have a Wii still or a Wii U, definitely try to scrounge up the Wii version. if you have to go all stars, then I guess whatever. But look, he's doing the victory dance. But yeah, I streamed a little bit of Sunshine, and I don't remember if it was on Twitch or on here. But I would like to. I played Odyssey for sure because one of my incentives for subscribers, I think it was the 3,000 sub incentive, was to do a darker side. So we had to get 500 moons, and we did all of that.
Oh.
It was really fun. We did it. we managed it, and it was pretty fun to do. Even funny enough, it actually didn't even take me that long to beat darker side. It took a while, but not as long as you would think.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the easier, last final level like challenge, like those challenge levels. The
Hell
fucking
yeah.
the one shit, they were really hard in
Grandmaster
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Grandmaster Galaxy was
Galaxy
hard.
2.
Yeah, Galaxy. The perfect run was it can go fuck itself.
Yeah. Dude, it
and
was so hard.
Champions Road is a nightmare as well from 3D World.
I still
from
haven't
3D
finished
World.
it.
Dude,
I still haven't finished Champion Road. I'm still stuck on that.
I think we did finally, but it took my brother and I a long fucking time.
I remember beating Champions Road, and I had like my save file had the 5 shiny stars, and then my Wii U died
Oh my god.
after playing Sonic Boom. So yeah. Have I told you guys the story of how my original Wii U died? Because it is the funniest thing.
No,
Okay, go.
I need to hear this one.
Yeah.
So I was playing Sonic Boom, just casually as you do. And I remember the last thing I ever heard before my Wii died completely was Sonic saying the line, "Time to rev the engines," and then my Wii U froze, and it went off, and it never came back on again.
Oh, man.
Sonic killed your fucking Wii U.
Sonic killed my Wii U.
Oh my
I'm
god.
sorry,
Time
that's
to
the
rev the
most awful
engines.
timing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
He revved the engines inside your Wii U and it fucking it killed itself.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh my god. Terry, you don't have to be a Mario fan to enjoy the movie. I would at least recommend you go watch the movie because it is a fun time.
I think you kind of have to be a fan, or maybe I don't know.
You don't.
Do you need to be a fan? To
It's very general public friendly.
It's not hard to follow or anything. It's just
No, not at all.
No, because but I don't know if you would get a lot out of it if you didn't like Mario. I don't know.
Well, see, that's where people's weird ass complaints about quote unquote the story being too short or the movie itself being too short is like, I don't understand that complaint because it felt like just the right length to not overstay its welcome as like a long ass film that just drones on. They picked the right things to focus on. The other complaint, Luigi just barely does anything. He's just captured for
I agree.
70%. I don't know what else you could have done with him besides, I understand what they were trying to do. And two, you would have gotten the thing of, well, if it wasn't going to be Luigi, it was going to be Peach. So, but how would Mario and Luigi know where to get around? They'd have to bumble their way into every situation versus like here where it's a little bit structured more because Peach is like, we have to go here, so let's go here, and then you see them go there. So it's the fact that it doesn't dawdle, it doesn't, meander on pointless tropes, and it kind of just gets into the action they get to where they get to in a fine enough manner, and they cut the middle stuff out. I think that's why people think that it feels too short or whatever.
It's a very fun action movie, so in that sense, I get watch it if you want some fun action. Yeah. I don't know.
What was I gonna say? I think this is a good place to end.
Yep.
So ends the PS1 games for Road to Rumble. So, yeah, again, we're just doing mainline stuff. So next week we're coming back with Wrath of Cortex, which I said I was excited to get into. So let's see how long it takes us to beat Wrath. I'm not sure. I never timed it before. These 3 games here have taken us 2 hours, like 2.5 hours. So Wrath quite take as
Graph
long.
is about the same. It's about the same length, unless you play it on PS2, in which case it might take longer with the loading times.
That is true. Yeah, both my PS2 and GameCube are right here, so that technically is up to y'all. Right now, I'm saying that we can do the PS2 version, but if you guys literally are like, fuck you, do GameCube, just for the sake of shorter load times, but it's gonna look shittier, hey, I'll still do it.
It depends.
I don't
I
care
feel like
either
it
way.
might be better with the GameCube version because of the loading times, but at the same time, you will be getting a better experience with the PS2. So I don't
It's a
know.
weird trade-off, but it's kind of
Yeah.
worth it in my book.
With the GameCube,
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I'm feeling too.
Yep, if that's what y'all want to see in the chat as well. We've got a week to also just mull it over too, so if not everyone's on board, but we'll see. I don't really mind either way, but we already have 2 for GameCube version, but I'm not taking a poll right now necessarily, but if y'all, you know, murder me in the comments or the DMs being like, play GameCube version, I'll do it. So.
I'll be storming your DMs.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Today's Saturday, so either tomorrow or Monday, definitely look forward to a new stream schedule. Especially too because we were going to do more Spyro 3 this Wednesday, but Miharu has an appointment, and the PlayStation Showcase is that day anyway. So instead of doing Spyro, we're gonna react to the showcase. So definitely here on YouTube. So definitely join us for that. Why not do a poll on which version to play? I mean, I could. I just don't want to right now. We have, like I said, we have a week to think about it. So you'll probably see something from me about that on Twitter in the coming days. Not that it's super important, but if y'all have a preference, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, definitely let me know, because we already have 2 votes on. Oh, hey, you should do the GameCube version. Because it was really set in stone just for the visuals that I wanted to do the PS2 version, but if you guys really are concerned about the loading times, we can do the GameCube version. Like I said, it doesn't matter to me necessarily. It's just said that we can't have both. I don't have the Xbox version, so we don't get both. So we're stuck with either shitty visuals or long load times, and it's your guys' call, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, pick your poison.
Yep.
Shitty visuals but good load times, or shit load times but the visuals are relatively pretty, or at least as pretty as they can look.
Yep.
Again, in chat, you guys don't have to answer right now, but because we're wrapping up. But yeah, you know what? Fuck it, I'll make a poll. Not today, but maybe like on Monday or some shit. We'll see. In terms of that, like I said, my next video that's going to be on Crash is going to be about the discourse over his Crash 4 design and all that nonsense. So I'll just speak my piece about it. It's not gonna be a very long video, but I'm still scripting it out, so I don't know when it's gonna come out, but hopefully within the next week or 2. So that's it for that. But what do you guys got going on? Shill your stuff. Be a sellout for 3 seconds.
I have nothing to sell right now. I do nothing.
Follow Frederick on Twitter. Okay, Dan, you're next.
Yeah.
Working on something right now. Can't exactly get into it just yet, but it's gonna be fun.
There you go.
Alright.
You
I'm Fez Penguin on Twitter, and I do animations, and I'm currently working on a Crash Bandicoot cartoon right now.
Yeah. Yeah, your Fez's stuff is really cool. Definitely check him out on the Twitter.
Yeah, please do.
Dave's still away in a faraway land, but check out Dave Ace on the YouTube and the Twitter as well.
On the YouTube.com.
The YouTube.com. But yeah, so if you guys are watching back as a VOD or as a video, thanks for watching. Those of you with us live, you guys with me here in the chat, thanks for joining in. Yeah, we'll be back this Wednesday. So until the 9 mark, these are the guys. I'm gonna spare you all saying your name in unison. We'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna deafen right now after you guys say bye. But until next time, take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Peace.